What's up, potheads and political junkies? You're watching Cannabis Culture News Live. I'm Jeremiah Vandermeer, editor of Cannabis Culture and Pot TV with Neil Magnuson.
Hey, Pot TV.
Activist extraordinaire. How are you, Pot TVers out there? I think we are live. If we're not live, please let us know. Or if there's any problems, tell us in the chat. So we just got Pot TV back, actually. We had a few days where there were no Pot TV at all. It was forwarding to Cannabis Culture, which was also having serious problems. We had a major server issue.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, our
not
server.
Not a hack by Harper's cronies.
We're not actually sure. We've literally been under a DDoS attack for 2 months. This is an attack that somebody puts on your site and it keeps requesting it, and so it knocks you out of commission.
I see.
They can be random, but it does seem a little strange that we're getting so many of them, and we had one that was big enough to even kill our protection system that we have for that particular purpose. So that's what kind of set off the problems. But it seems to be all fixed now. Things are good, but if you do have any problems, please let us know. Send me an email, jeremiah@cannabisculture.com, with any site-related issues. I think I noticed a few font issues, actually, in certain browsers, but besides that, we all seem to be back to normal. But so today on the show, we're going to talk about the ongoing battle happening here in the city of Vancouver. Oh, Johnny B just walked in the door. Neil's been keeping really good track of what's happening here in the city of Vancouver when it comes to the dispensaries and who's been in trouble, who's fighting with the city, what the city is doing moving forward. Neil, you visit a lot of these dispensaries a lot of the time.
I do. And
you talk to the people who run them. I was just chatting with Reg from Budzilla today, too. I know he is in a battle. We're going to have Don Briere.
They charged him.
They charged him, yeah, for what he was doing with Budzilla. Don Briere from Weeds is going to be on the show today. We're going to be talking about his fight, and he has a lot to battle for because he's got so many locations, and the new regulations really only allow you to have 5 locations for each owner, so that's obviously problematic.
The fight is on.
The fight is on.
Unfortunately.
Now, Neil, you have your own fight on, and I've heard that they, again, have pushed things back. Is that correct?
Well, they didn't give me complete disclosure like they said they were last time. The videos that they gave me, we couldn't get them to play. We had a team of tech-savvy people deal with that, and they couldn't get them to open it.
Oh, they gave you the videos?
Yeah, they gave me the videos.
But you can't watch them?
Haven't been able to watch them yet.
Really?
They did not give me a certificate of analysis. They gave me some more statements by police officers where they speculate that the 4 joints that they took off of me, a licensed federal exemptee, were actually cannabis. And they suspect that 2 of the 2 pills that they found in the side bag were MDMA, but actually they were Tylenol 3.
Oh, geez.
So I was back in court yesterday, and I mentioned that to the judge, and she said, well, that's more for trial. Do you have a lawyer, she said. I said, well, I had a lawyer that was very excited about taking the case, wanted to represent me pro bono, but then came up with a bill for $5,600 to cover hard costs, and I think that's a little out of line. And this whole thing is a waste of taxpayers' money. Now it's going to be a waste of my money or our community's money. So I'm really hesitating to go ahead with that. She gave the Crown more time to get together the full disclosure, and they said they would call me and either provide me with different videos or tell me how to open those. And so there's 3 weeks for me to get a second opinion on the hard costs from the lawyer. I'm certainly not going to go with that route. $5,600 is a ridiculous waste of money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask our community to come up with that for this. I'm not looking at jail time at all.
Well, and you're probably pretty competent in representing yourself if you have to.
Well, I'm going to spend some time at the law library and get more competent for sure. I think I know the difference between right and wrong. I'm just not all that up to speed on the legal lingo of the courts, you know. And I'm not so sure right and wrong is what's at play in courts.
Well, it's not.
So
yeah.
So we'll see how that all goes. I mean, all we can do is do our best and try to speak truth and hope that they recognize reasonable, what's reasonable and what's not. The prosecutor, when I went to give him my phone number so he could contact me with proper videos, I said, have you seen the video? Are you familiar with this case? He said, no, I'm not. I said, you should have a look because this is the most ridiculous waste of police and tax resources I've ever witnessed. And I said to the judge, I said, when we talked about the $5,600, I said, I'm not a drug dealer, I'm an activist, so I don't have money to cover that those kind of costs.
And the judge keeps telling you should get counsel. You should get counsel.
No, she didn't say that. I just said I wanted a second opinion on whether that $5,600 was a bit high. But
wait, the first judge though.
Oh yeah, the last judge, was pretty much scolding me about getting a lawyer.
Yeah.
I take all that in stride.
Yeah.
It's a big club they got going there. They're all trying to get all their members paid as much as they can.
Of course.
From us, the outside people.
That's right. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Once you get into the system, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Well, Neil, I know you're still battling with that whole thing. I still am confident that it's eventually going to be tossed out somehow or something.
I don't see it so much as a battle as I see it as an opportunity, as a platform that they've provided for me to make statements about these things to people of influence.
Yes.
I look forward to every date I have in court, although next time I go, I'm going to be demanding that we proceed. This has gone far enough. There's enough waste of tax dollars. I'm told that if I do that the Crown will then drop the charges. That's kind of what they're waiting for, is a demand to proceed.
Really?
And then they'll drop. But I don't know.
Who told you that?
All kinds of people have lots of advice. The president of the Marijuana Party of Canada told me that.
Mark Boyer?
Yeah.
Well,
he told me that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd take legal advice from Mark Boyer.
I don't take anybody's projections
He's
on
a good
what's
guy,
going to
but
happen
it's
with
not a lawyer.
anything but a number of grains of salt. Because, even the lawyers don't know. As I've talked with these lawyers, I get different opinions about what they think is going to happen, too. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen, Like I said, they're not asking for jail time. It's just a matter of a fine that they're asking for in a suspended sentence. So it's no big deal. I'll wear any conviction like a badge, like I do with my other convictions for pot.
Yeah.
But I don't think I deserve a conviction. I'd like to see that either dropped or somehow we can beat that. And then, of course, once that happens, then we go after them civilly. And then we go full bore on them, and then maybe it's a battle. But at this point, I see it more as just an opportunity to try to make some statements to people that can make a difference, that's all. Well, although the judges so far tell me they're not the ones.
I'm not to say that I'm happy that this happened to you, but if it could have happened to anybody, you're the right guy.
It's funny, when it was happening, it was very surreal that day for sure. It was nothing like we'd ever seen before. We didn't expect them to march in and arrest me like that, but we were prepared for something because, man, there was all those cops and they weren't backing down.
That's the reason, I think when I think about it now in retrospect, I often am like, well, were we being stubborn or obstinate, or were we doing something we shouldn't have been doing? And I have to remind myself, no, we weren't. No. We were doing this in the face of these cops coming down to our rally, lining up in a military formation around us, with them patrolling the streets and all this stuff. That's intimidation.
Oh, so much intimidation happened that
no
day.
matter what.
And we'd never had anything like that. I've been 17 years in a row going to Cannabis Day rallies. I'd never seen, we've always had cooperation with the police. Yeah. We've always had friendly police there. Yeah. We've done our thing uninterrupted. All they've ever done is assured us that they're not there to make arrests. They're just there to keep the peace. And the complete opposite happened this past Cannabis Day. So I don't think we did anything wrong. And we didn't.
No.
We've been trying. What we're doing is the right thing. I struggle with this as a patriot, as a proud Canadian.
We've been doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 20 years.
I know. And when I joined this movement and had to give some serious thought as to what we were doing on Canada Day and with the Canadian flag and with O Cannabis and those things. And I gave it a lot of thought, a lot of deep thought. And I'm pretty good at coming to what's right and wrong in my life. And it's the right thing to do. These laws are extremely harmful, destructive. They fly right in the face of what it means to be a Canadian. They're costing us an enormous amount of money. They're ruining so many lives. It is a very, very, in fact, to me, it's like the most important issue going on in Canada is the fact that we are still calling this a crime and going after people with the criminal law, penalizing them and criminalizing them. It's a huge, huge issue. It's not about having one more thing on the table that we can get high with. That's not the battle. Although that would be enough for the battle, because this one thing that people are getting high with compared to the other things that people get high with, this would be the choice for less harm in our environment.
Why is there such a weird hate against people who want to get high? What is this euphoria phobia? Yeah, it doesn't make...
It's a self-righteous indignation.
It's a double standard anyways, because everybody's getting drunk and nobody seems to have a problem with that.
Well, some of these people are religious fanatics and they're not getting drunk, except they're getting drunk on religion. And they're getting high off of their self-righteous indignation, which is a drug. Your brain creates chemicals when you're in that state of self-righteous indignation, when you're better than somebody else and you know what they should do and you're telling them to do it. Your brain creates chemicals that feed that center of pleasure in your head. Mm-hmm. These people are addicts. They're addicted to that state of mind.
We should declare a prohibition on self-righteous indignation.
Of course we should. It has no place in a free society where people get to be who they want to be it different different than you or not if they're not hurting somebody
That'll just
else.
push it to the black market.
You know, this
Neil.
is not a Christian country full of Christian zealots, and anybody who's different than that is wrong. This is a country full of all sorts of different people. We're all supposed to be free here. We've gotten rid of the tyrants and the dictators and the pharaohs and the kings. We're climbing on the backs of giants who laid their lives on the line to get us to where we are here today.
You're right.
We should not disrespect that. We're not putting our lives on the line. I'm looking at a suspended sentence. You know, yeah, I got beat up a bit by cops, but, you know, still, it's not what our forefathers went through.
But
it's not
that
the
suspended sentence that they gave me when I was 14 years old, the age of 43, has screwed me from going over the border or anything like that.
Yeah, but I have those myself already. I'm just saying that my sacrifice, my risk is nowhere near the risk of those people who went before us and laid their lives. It said that they were in trenches
they were
shooting.
taking bullets for it.
Mr. Briere. Yes, future generations of families.
Wow.
Yeah. That's right. Huge sacrifices.
Yeah.
Huge. And for hundreds of
said.
years, the royal ruling elite have purged the academics and the rebels. I mean, we are so fortunate for the sacrifices of those people that we can have a Pot TV show, that we can stand on a street corner and talk about how we don't like our government's policies. This is huge. We don't understand how huge this is based on what we've come from.
And it wouldn't take much for them to take it away, or at least try to.
We could lose it easy, especially with the technology they have now. That's why they didn't win it hundreds of years ago, is they didn't have this level of technology.
Right.
The good news on that is that we have it too.
Now they let you say whatever you want, but then they had the keyword find.
Yeah, we have the same technology, so we've moved up in our sophistication to fight this fight as well. Yeah. But had they had this 100 years ago and the masses of people not had it, they would have all been locked down in no time. When you can scare somebody into turning in their neighbor, because if they don't, they're going to have their lives ruined, then nobody turns in. I mean, nobody protects anybody after that. It's very difficult.
Well, that's what Orwell pointed out in '84. So
that's right.
Everything in that.
So
book.
we need to stand up. We need to recognize the sacrifices of those before us and respect that and continue it, or we'll lose it.
Yep. Well, and there, it's crazy because so many people.
It must be.
When you ask the average Canadian what they think about this issue, and I mean, people are with us on this issue. People believe what you say.
They do.
And somehow we still manage to get these conservative majority governments where you see the conservatives polling so high in the latest polls.
Well, all the people are not with us.
Right.
All the people are not with us. The Reefer Madness campaigns over the last number of decades have been very successful.
Right. They have a very strong base, though.
Yeah.
And so it's that their people actually do what they say they're going to do, and they go and vote.
They go and vote, yeah.
Our people,
and they vote with their
unfortunately,
wallets.
don't do that. And so it's the people who are a bit more like zealots who always end up in charge of running things because they're the ones who just have the drive to go vote. Average Joe is like, fuck, I don't care, just wants to go about his business.
We don't have a lot to vote for, but we got a lot to vote against at this point.
That's true.
We know what Stephen Harper's all about. We need him the hell out of there. The others, I don't trust any of them, but they're better than him, and it's one of the avenues that we have. I like what Mr. Briere had to say earlier about how we're fighting this fight. We got the Marines coming ashore, we got the ships shooting from out in the ocean, we got the planes flying over. And what he means by that is we got a lot of people with a lot of different ideas about how to come at this and how to win this, and we're all coming at it from all those different areas, and we need all those different areas.
Now, just here in Vancouver right now, we have Carrie Jang in the press saying, or speaking in front of the BC municipality
councillor for Vancouver.
This is the Vancouver City councillor,
yeah.
saying that all but 15 to 20 of the dispensaries will be closed.
That's his opinion based on how he thinks the rigorous selection thing is going to be. That's what he said, is that in his opinion, there will only be 15 or 20 left.
Right, and that's his. And now he had to clarify that the day after. But of course, his opinion. I mean, he's in a position to know how many there'll be. He's the guy who is kind of with his finger on the button, let's say.
Got a better opportunity to know than we do.
Well, yeah, because they've designed this. He was one of the architects of this system, or at least the one who was voting for it and working with the city manager's office. Nobody really knows which ghosts in the city's office are the ones who put these things together.
I saw in the province yesterday, we were talking about what he had to say, and the commentary from the person that wrote the column was so-called doctor. That he's a so-called doctor.
Who? What? Okay, what?
Whoever wrote that article for the province yesterday, when they were talking about what Councillor Jang had to say, they referred to him as a so-called doctor.
So-called?
So-called.
Well, that's a little disrespectful.
But you wouldn't think that would be in there unless there was some basis for it.
In the newspaper?
Yeah.
There wouldn't be some. Well,
I
they
would think there'd
they
be
print a
some
lot of
basis
shit
for
that
that,
has no
or
basis. I'm not sure.
They
I
don't
trust
always
anything
have
the newspaper
proper sources
says.
for that.
Well,
but
but Carrie, what do you mean? Carrie Jang is a doctor.
I don't know what he meant by
isn't
that.
he? Well, you either are a doctor or you're not. There's no so-called. I mean, unless you're Dr. Hunter S. Thompson or something, but
he's got a doctorate in something besides medical cannabis dispensaries. Maybe that's what they were talking about. I don't know.
I think he is a doctor.
There are PhD doctors that are biochemical engineers, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Whatever he is, though,
He might not be a doctor of medical science, but
yeah. So he's a doctor of something, which is great. Good, education is fantastic. But the problem is that Vancouver did something that nobody else in the whole world has done, and they have actually started regulating this, and they've given us development permits. And they're not licenses; they're just permits, development permits for application, right? So again, once more, Vancouver came up with the first beautiful race car, but they got no tires because of what they're trying to do.
Right.
They banned the edibles. They're trying to shut down a whole bunch of them. They're setting some unrealistic goals, but that's Carrie Jang. We've heard from other councillors who say there could be up to 60 of them that they're going to let go. So again,
I don't think any of them have closed voluntarily yet.
No, I haven't
seen any of them closed down yet.
Well, there's one that moved. The one on Granville.
Yeah, Canna Clinic moved around the corner. I saw that.
I don't know what they're going to do about the ones on Granville, which they've ordered to shut down. Yeah.
That's Lime Life and Canna Clinic. Or
Van City Medicinal.
Van City.
Yeah, Canna Clinic.
Van City's one.
Yeah, Canna Clinic did move.
Yeah, they did move. So I'm not quite sure, but they're everywhere now.
So Don, you have how many locations of Weeds?
Well, we have 9 locations.
In Vancouver.
Yeah, in Vancouver.
In Vancouver. So that puts you above the 5 that they would allow you.
1 minute warning.
Is there a way around that?
Well, is there a way around, or do you have partners?
You know what?
Maybe?
When I speak
That's
to
a
people,
1
I hear
minute
all
warning.
kinds of different things, and one of them was if you do it a certain way, you can have 10. But either way, I mean, there are ways of.
There's the Board of Variance.
Separating. Well, not so much the Board of Variance, but separating the corporations and companies so that there are 5 and 5. But that's only in Vancouver. So outside of Vancouver, you can have 3, 4, 5. You can have 20, 30, or 40.
So
right?
yesterday at the UCBM meeting of all the municipalities of British Columbia, they like
That's a
what
420.
420, everybody.
Happy 420.
Yay!
They like what
Smart.
Vancouver's doing, and they unanimously voted to that they did have the power to regulate cannabis dispensaries. That's what they decided.
That's correct. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, happy 420, everyone.
420.
Yay.
So they voted now, and that gives who does that give the power to?
Well, this is the municipalities of British Columbia that have decided en masse that all of them feel that they do have the right to regulate cannabis dispensaries within their cities because the federal government is not doing their job on it.
That's right.
That's just a decision. I mean, they
failed.
don't really. This body doesn't actually have any real power.
Well, these are the mayors.
They're the mayors.
These are the mayors
That's right.
and the councils
Right.
of the different cities that meet once a year
They're
in BC.
saying the same thing as what Vancouver's done. They're going to do the same thing. So
I mean,
it is. I mean, it's good.
there's
It's the power of the
dispensaries in
people,
Maple
and
Ridge.
that's what we're doing.
And some other places. In
It's
Kimberley,
a slap
there's
in the face of the federal government.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And good on them for doing
And
it.
they may be regulating dispensaries because of it.
But see, now before there was a larger body of municipalities, or maybe that was one of the BC ones, but they like the idea of decriminalization, and they had floated the fine idea before. Oh no, that was the police.
Yeah, it's the police wanting that.
Right, and that's what the federal government supported.
Yeah,
These guys
that
are
doesn't
going
do any good either. you
That
know,
was
it's not-
bad.
Kimberley licensed
It's
their
still
dispensary with
Well,
no
yes,
regulations.
that's right. Yep. So
Yeah,
they
they just
made
gave 'em a
their own
license.
regulations, and I don't see why
Stuck
not.
them in a category.
If the federal government or the provincial government can't do it, then why not the cities? Because they're a group of people who are voted in, and they're doing what the people are telling them to do.
And
Remember,
before the
Sweden-
cities was
Yeah.
just the people. We
Yeah.
opened these dispensaries,
Exactly.
and we've been self-regulating for over 20 years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, there you
almost
go.
20 years.
And I like the idea of a local government taking matters into their own hands anyways. I mean, people on local levels should make these decisions. Why is Ottawa so far away from here making these life and death decisions about patients in this province? It makes no sense.
Yeah, and if some municipalities make it a little wrong, they can always tweak it up, change it up, and look at other districts and see, hey, what are they doing?
Because Vancouver doesn't have it right yet, for sure.
No, not right now, but I think that'll
But
change.
it's a start.
Yeah, exactly. Colorado is now moved into more of a recreational thing than anything else, and kept the money in the community as opposed to sending it off huge cartels.
And I know Washington is now talking about reinstituting home grows for medical patients, which they had eliminated.
So
that's good.
it's all coming
It's
in the
changing,
right
is it?
way.
Yeah.
It's
We'll see
evolving
how it goes.
fairly quickly in actual.
Because compared to alcohol, cannabis is much safer and does not provide the societal problems that alcohol does.
Well,
but when you
yeah, we know
compare the
that.
alcohol dispensaries with the cannabis dispensaries, there's such a huge hypocrisy there, with clusters of alcohol dispensaries all over the city,
Yeah,
serving
yeah.
food, and the kids can go in there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, every
I think
restaurant serves liquor
We need to
and-
really pound the city on that comparison to get more of a level playing field for the cannabis
Oh
dispensaries.
yeah. So I think if they want to sit down and negotiate, that'd be the better way of going as opposed to litigation. But that's what a lot of people are talking about. The baked goods people are talking litigation, and they've already corralled a considerable amount of money for that.
Right.
And then of course there's civil litigation to recover the money from this waste of our tax resources, right?
And are you also using the Marijuana Party of Canada defense in some of your stores?
Well, yeah, we're again. It's the whole thing. It's like I remember when I went to court in 2004. We had 50,000 pages of documents, and so
All supporting cannabis and
no. Well,
not being illegal.
it was just a trial, and what I'm trying to say is that costs so much money. It costs our tax resources. It was a huge waste. And so again, incarceration of an inmate, I believe we could put 22 students through university or pay the tuition for that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And again, once more, $440 million in the pot war. When we have 2 million kids that go to bed hungry every single day in this country, and if you put animals in a cage and showed that on TV, there'd be an outcry. So how come we're not feeding our children? So these are the priorities that we need to do, and education. So again, we want
and
to
Don,
file civil lawsuits if they don't want to deal with it. It's misuse of our public resources.
I had a friend yesterday suggest that in raising money to cover the hard costs of the lawyer for my case, we could do a fundraiser where every dollar would be matched with $1 for a bowl of soup for the hungry.
Well, that'd be pretty cool too. But here's the deal: I was going to mention that earlier. That $6,500 for a lawyer. Don't you think that's a fine that you're getting?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
And
money
so,
that could be used for much better things, I think, in our community.
Absolutely. But really, I mean, you could take that money and how many kids could you feed for $6,500?
And this is what a lawyer wants, to represent me just to cover his hard costs. But if I represent myself, I don't think I'm going to have $5,600 in hard costs.
No, I think
associated with representing myself.
Your costs would be a lot lower than that. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
So, Don, the first thing they would do is they would come in and try and give you a fine or something along those lines, right? Is that how this works? Like, what do you know exactly what the process would be for them shutting you down?
No, not really, because I've heard so many things. As far as I know, they would give us the opportunity to move. But if
You did hear that there was 4 new inspectors that were hired on that are going to be looking at these places
They're
after
here.
regular
They came to
business
our
hours.
store already.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yesterday.
I mean, we don't have hard facts on this. This is just hearsay for now,
Right.
from different people. But not the hearsay. The thing that's not hearsay is that they did hire 4 people to be inspectors, and so
Right.
they're looking at going around charging everything for $30,000.
Well, they're fines. Yeah, they're fines.
They're going to pay them at least $30,000 each a year, those guys.
Yeah, either through fines or with the
Yeah.
licensing fee.
or licensing fees. Yeah,
Or you'll
so
pay it to a
So-
lawyer. One way or the other.
I mean,
you're coughing
it would
up
take a
money.
long time, though, theoretically, because we have the tobacco smoking places here in town, the hookah bars and stuff,
Yeah.
and they had been fighting for, I think, years now, 5 or 7 years.
Yeah, I can see if that's the way they want to go. But
Right.
again, remember, it's our tax resources that they're using
Right.
against us while they're drawing a salary. So that's
Right.
something that we want to make very clear and a note of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and now you were saying earlier, Don, that you used a line that I really liked, and you were comparing, what benefit it is to have you guys there as opposed to getting rid of you and pushing those dollars into the hands, taking them out of the hands of the taxpayers and putting them directly into the hands of organized crime.
Well, yeah, that's what the issue is. When I talked to the police about that, you could see some of these police officers, they're really good. They're polite. They're dedicated, and they're talking to you. And you could see that they would either toe the line if it was illegal. All right, hands behind your back. Let's go, buddy. And that's the way it is. So you tell them about all the jobs you create, and it's okay. So does everybody else. But then when I tell them that we pull money away from organized crime, who buy guns? We don't buy guns.
Yeah.
We don't shoot at them. Okay, we support them. We
Yeah.
support schools and hospitals. We pay GST on all the product, as well as our staff who we're trying to give a living wage, $15 an hour plus medical and dental. They pay income tax, UIC, Canada pension, and everything else that goes with it, right? So
And the gangs pay none of that.
yeah, and none of them.
And
they
the
don't
gangs
pay
will sell to
taxes.
kids and employ kids, and you
Sure.
won't sell to kids or employ kids.
Yeah, well, the thing is, what they do is when they go see organized crime, they say, well, we're out of pot, but they lied about that, so here's some good, clean heroin.
Yeah.
And that's how they get their human trafficking, right? So again, everything that we do, it helps society. It drains the organized crime, like as the Bacon Brothers and the Surrey Six. Those people were butchered over territory. And how did they get their money? Grow-ups illegally, and they don't pay taxes. The jewelry that they wear is more expensive than your car,
Yeah.
right? So again, once more, we're taking that away and we're putting it into society. So it's a win-win-win situation all the way around. And the police chiefs are seeing that. We're getting support from all over the place. Washington State, one of the police chiefs said, after looking at all the numbers, he's imploring all the rest of the states to immediately legalize because he sees the benefits of going after violent criminals and saving all the money and time and resources, transportation, costs. All these things are so beneficial to the,
and
to the
people using
society.
cannabis for medical reasons shouldn't be having to go to the Bacon Brothers to get their medicine.
No, heck no.
You know, and I heard a
that's
guy on the
right.
radio today. They were talking about it on CBC, and he said, I've been smoking weed recreationally for 45 years.
Yeah,
Never
who
had any
hasn't?
problem. Never had any
Never.
problem getting my weed.
Yeah.
Now I'm a medical user. I can't seem to get medical grade cannabis without going through a whole bunch of hassle. So,
Yeah.
it's just wrong
Yeah.
all the way around.
Yeah, it
this
is.
whole
Well,
thing.
the thing is, we're moving forward in the right direction. As soon enough, if Vancouver gets smart about it, they'll have racing tires on their cars and see the tourism that comes in here because we have so many tourists that come into our stores, and
Yeah.
especially in Yaletown and places like that. I mean, it's amazing how amazed they are about what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Well, and now, Don, two of the things the police always bring up, and Carrie Jang has been bringing up in these interviews, one of them is the organized crime thing. The other is dealing to minors. And now it seems like...
Yeah, he made that comment in the paper too.
Yeah, they've
They're
been
only
talking-
shutting down the ones dealing. Nobody
to
has been
minors.
charged with selling to a minor.
And that's what I
Well,
wrote.
that's the thing. That's the whole thing. Is where are the charges?
Yeah.
If you accuse somebody of murder, you can face their accuser. Everything else like that.
Right.
And so
Now,
I heard
didn't they
so many
accuse... They
different.
came after you, didn't they, for
Well,
something
one
along
of
those
the
lines?
one of the stores, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, there were no charges. They really refused. They said they recommended charges, but how come there are no charges?
Right.
And again, once more, let's face this. I heard 3 or 4 different rumors. And that's all they were rumors. So again, once more, let's see the evidence.
Yeah.
Show us the proof. But
And the same goes for the organized crime thing. They went after Lime Life.
Yeah.
And they, and even Budzilla, I'm not sure, he's got charges. I don't
Yeah,
think
he
they
was
have
charged a couple
any-
days ago for
they didn't
that
try
raid
and
a
make
long
any
time
of
ago
those
now.
associations with him, I
Nope.
don't think, or anything. But
Nope, just for trafficking. Yeah, Jim
Yeah.
was
Oh,
charged.
so,
Jim,
oh,
too.
sorry.
okay, and so
Same with
and other than Joe, those are the only ones that have been
and
charged.
Joe, yeah.
no Jim. Well, the other weeds.
Yeah, that was
they-
Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
all been charged, and even the young gentleman that was working behind the counter for a couple days from Australia is being charged. He's got a warrant out for his arrest. He doesn't even know it.
Which one was that from?
And that was from the weeds right beside the dispensary, right? So they charged
Jim's Weeds.
Jim's Weeds.
Yeah, okay.
So
Oh,
you got to
Jim's
take a
Weeds.
look at that one, and they've now charged everybody there, and they're moving forward. They've hired lawyers and stuff like that, and
Well, yeah. So
everybody got all
Yeah,
of
we've
this
got
at
a
the
few
same
charged.
time.
We've had, I think, 11 different raids.
Yeah.
Out of there, I think there's like 3 of those raids resulted in
So,
some charges, but there's been no convictions
Okay,
yet.
but my
Just
first, very,
now.
very first question is, how much of our tax resources is this costing? And I want to know.
Yeah.
And I already can tell you one example where an officer, for whatever reason, charged somebody that we know, and I won't mention any names, but I can tell you if we have to look at it, I will. And what happened was it was the penalty thing, you know. All right, that's it. Sit in the car. Didn't handcuff him or anything, but basically wrote him up. And I would say probably spent an hour and a half of our time right at that particular moment in time. And had there been a pedophile taken a child or anything like that violent, I would say he'd be kind of culpable in that person getting away while he was doing this. And then it was, my point is, as this time rolled along and talking to a lawyer, it was the penalty thing, because right at the door, it was, oh, we're going to drop it. And so I don't know how much money was spent on our behalf, but I would say that was a kind of a waste of our tax resources from the prosecutor.
500 hours per raid, something like that.
Okay, well, my point is this was a little raid, okay? And I'd like to know if it's $1,000 an hour and it took 50 hours, is that what they took away from our education, our health care, and feeding the hungry kids?
Well, and that same argument, when you look at what they did at Cannabis Day and stuff,
sure,
like,
exactly.
Who is booking
how many
these cops to work like that? You know,
yeah,
like,
what was the cost of that? And what's the cost going to be to that, right?
Yeah, how many times every time I go to court?
How many times have you been to court? How many times?
5 or 6 now.
Okay, so how many sheriffs were there? How many prosecutors? Yeah. I've seen one where there was 2 police officers, 2 prosecutors, and they had the wrong judge, so the judge had to blah, 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 and move it over to another courtroom. So I don't know how many hours that was, but it was a lot of money. Again, what the hell for?
Yeah. And in my case, they're saying I can choose a jury.
Oh, good. You should choose it. Yeah.
I will.
You know what?
If it ever gets to that point.
We understand that, but here's the deal. We need to keep track of the volume of money, tax resources that has been spent on this, okay, and the records, the court documents, the judge, the all this kind of stuff, and then we can present this to the public and say, look, this is what they're doing. You know, this is here in Vancouver. Can you imagine what's going to happen in Calgary or Edmonton or all this kind of stuff, right? So waste.
Yeah.
You know, look at that little child, a 2-year-old child that was murdered and kidnapped. Okay, go after those guys.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what the police should be taking care of. Right. Now, Don, the other thing is the organized crime element of it. As you say, if they get rid of the dispensaries that are here now, that just instantly pushes that whole market back into the hands of these people. Well, and you've had to even, I was reading in the paper that
I can't hear you.
I was saying that you were having yourself some issues with that, where was just briefly reading in the paper, you know, what they were, at least that article was terrible that I read about it.
Well,
but
okay.
I mean,
thank you.
I had to say, like, sometimes the way that the media tries to portray you and what's going on is like.
Remember Reefer Madness? Did you ever see that show, Reefer Madness?
Yeah, still happening.
Once or twice or 3 or 4. Yeah, okay.
But it almost seemed like they were trying to link you to organized crime when really it was that you've had to run in or something, right?
Well, yeah, but that's life. I mean, step out into the street the wrong time, you're gonna have a run-in with a car, right?
Exactly.
But anyways, you know, you navigate through, driving down the road. There's a pothole or something. You go around it, right? And so it's the same thing in anything that we're doing right now. And again, just moving forward with what we're doing, as united as we can, is the best thing we can, and fighting it on every front. And speaking out. That's the most important thing. I tell everybody that comes in as a tourist and their mouths are wide open, I say, listen, spread the word. You're wasting your tax resources. Get the hell on it and do something about it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think every time you say something like that, and you give them, I give them your pamphlets, the ones that say, why is cannabis illegal? Yeah. And boy, I'm telling you, I says, read this over and over and over again and bring it home.
And tell your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, you know, I think you're really fighting a good fight. Now, I mean, in the past, you've been fighting this fight for a long time, and you've already done time on this.
23 years.
Yeah. How much time in jail, John?
My guesstimate is about, the time I got then out, good behavior or whatever they want to call it, but it was total about 7 years and 3 months, I believe.
Wow. And you're still willing to fight it out with these guys. Like, man.
We're right, they're wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a hypocrisy where we have this local government themselves flying in the face of what they say are harmful federal laws and, you know, ridiculous. And they say the Ottawa government has failed us.
Ridiculous.
And then they make a system that fails us in the same way.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, I think if you really, really want to look at their side of it, they might be trying to look as tough as possible because, you know, what about, I don't know, pick just some religious redneck from Calgary coming in and say, "What the hell's wrong with you, buddy? I'm telling you, your soul and body and everything's going to hell, and you'll never get out forever." I mean,
yeah, it's pretty clear, and that's what I told them at their info session. I said, you guys have designed these regulations to make it as difficult as possible to get a license and as unattractive as possible to actually have one.
But here's, I do believe, where did I hear this? Check it out. Is every time there's new regulations, there's always some wiggling and wrangling and fighting and everything that goes with it. And so I don't know how many other laws that have come in that are kind of new, but sometimes it takes years and years for them to go through. And right now they said they were going to issue licenses in December. Well, good luck.
Yeah, no kidding.
But anyways, especially if there's people start filing lawsuits. I mean,
if there's 15 or 20 shops that have licenses from the city, and then there's another 85 that are still operating and they don't have those licenses, that's an interesting.
They're going to close 85%
but more
of them.
along
Give
the
me a
lines
break.
of how come the store right beside me, I won't name the store, but anyways, they have bars right in the window, and they're telling me I have to move my bars 1 meter back, or what's that, three feet inches, and so there you go. So right there, that's discrimination to me.
Big time.
And so how about a little just a tiny little mini lawsuit? Put everything on hold, and we'll deal with through the courts for a year or two.
And from an activist point of view, I'm considering setting up little vapor lounges in front of the liquor stores.
When did they say they were going to issue licenses? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
For me, it seems like something that constitutionally you could win, because if they want to discriminate against, say, a drugstore as being a different type of a business because it has some harm associated with it, they have to be able to prove the harm associated with it. The reason that we have that idea is because they can show that drugs have this, if they get into the wrong hands, so on and so forth, they take precautions. Well, with marijuana, I mean, how do you prove that gate or whatever being a meter back? Like, what the hell is that? Like, what does that even mean?
It's so weird.
The
The bar is being 3 feet back. What is the justification for that?
It
makes no sense.
It was aesthetics, I believe. I was there for at least 2 of the meetings, and I listened as carefully as I could, right? And I believe it was not to devalue the other businesses, but what if the other businesses got bars right beside you, right?
Yeah.
It was just an afterthought thrown in. They're trying to put something together, look as regulatory as possible, so that they could say, okay, look, we are trying to do something. Ottawa's dropped the ball for 10 years now. We are actually doing something. And so the Bible thumpers, or whoever they are, sorry,
the crazies.
Apologize to those guys, the crazies. Yeah, that's a better word. So anyways, those guys, they're trying to throw them a couple of bones. That's the only thing I can say.
Well, it's in my opinion, then it's self-serving. It's so that they get off easy without actually having to stand up for the truth and what's right. It's just a way for them. It's
nothing about that. It's about how they look.
It's a shortcut for these councillors who just don't want to have to deal with the crazies.
Don's right. It's about optics for the city hall.
Too, but the thing is, look, they heard everyone speak. I mean, in hindsight's 2020. I think I ought to come on a little tougher. I was trying to be, the nice person, so to speak, on that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, nothing really changed.
No,
everything that they said that they were going to do, they did. Yeah. Even after listening to all this. So, I mean, there's a record of everything people said, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Why even hold the hearings if you don't take any advice?
But here's my point. After that too. Wow. But after showing all these videos and collecting that, that'd be one of the first things I would subpoena for court. I say, hey, listen, you know what? This is all wrong. The food thing's wrong. Everything's wrong. I want to subpoena all these people, and then let's go to court. How many days are we going to sit there with our lawyers and your lawyers? Again,
just watch the videos.
Give me the numbers. I want to see a little tick-tock clock up there, just like the national debt one. Yeah. Only the waste of our tax resources money for the kids that are starving in our country, right?
We should be able to program a clock that does that.
That's my attitude, and I'm sticking with it.
Well, we should. How much money is being wasted on the drug war every day?
I mean, it's huge. 440 million plus.
And every day that clock could be moving, man. I'll tell
amounts. You. Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's weird because it puts all these guys in business, and that's really who are protecting this. These guys have an institution built on this stuff, and they don't want it to just disappear.
Yeah.
So that's why it's an uphill battle, I think, for us in a lot of ways, because all of the authorities, whether it's police officers on the local level, the prosecutors, whoever else, they're making a lot of coin off of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, again, many years ago, I remember passing a leap tape to a prison guard And he came back shaking his head laughing. He says, we don't want less people in jail. We want more people in jail.
Yeah, of course.
You know, lots of overtime.
That's the business they're in.
Well, of course, yeah. It's the same thing in America. You know, the private prisons, they have a quota. And if the state and the police enforcement of that county or state don't meet the quota, then the taxpayer pays for empty beds in there.
Exactly.
It's so wrong. I mean, I can't get past that notion that we are putting human beings in cages on a regular basis for no good reason but to make money for the prison systems.
Yeah.
You know,
For
people
corporations.
in cages. What the hell are we doing?
Slavery. It's just a weird.
It's worse than slavery.
Pretty much, yeah. They make them put electronics together for 15 cents an hour or whatever they pay, right?
They make them take drugs.
Yeah.
Well, they put their lives at risk.
Pharmaceutical.
And that captive audience there, those prisoners are worth a lot to maintain. You know, all the food that they
what the
eat,
hell are we doing?
The American pharmaceutical. Did you see the latest one? How much it costs to treat certain people with some medications? It's like
the pill that went up from like $42 to $720 a pill.
Yeah. That's the pharmaceuticals, and it's much larger than any other real business. It's $1 trillion industry, the pharmaceutical industry. So the pharma
minimum markup is 3,000% on the
that
product.
one guy, you see that whole thing, but I'm glad that at least got some attention.
Well, and they've got so much money because of this that they use that leverage to put us down and to keep us criminals. That's the big battle.
But you know, it just goes to show you that these corporations,
they finance Sam from the United States. You know, they're putting tons of money. We don't have any idea how much money and what they're doing into trying to keep cannabis illegal. But I suspect the pharmaceutical companies are the ones that really recognize that legalizing marijuana would be extremely harmul to their bottom line profits.
To their bottom line. Well, that's pretty much that's already been talked about for years. It's the pharmaceutical industry that is scared of this industry because, I mean, going back when we start getting into oral forms of THC and how they bind the receptors, them not allowing oral forms of THC for patients is absurd. That is the most effective way, and that's where I got off of my opioid drugs, was using beautiful brownies from the BCCS. I mean, that's where it all started from, right? Yeah. So, I mean, them taking away edibles and oil forms of THC for patients is the most. It's the hardest thing to do to a patient. Now you got to tell a patient now you can't medicate properly.
Well, and they said they were banning edibles to protect children.
Well,
but if cannabis was harmful to children, banning edibles from the sale of actual licensed dispensaries, making people make it for themselves to get off the black market, that's going to put kids at way more risk, except that cannabis doesn't harm kids, so thank goodness for that. But if it did, they would be in a lot of trouble for what they're doing.
What about in other municipalities? Are you selling baked goods out there? Because I know the BC Pain Society sells
baked goods.
I think it's just Vancouver that's banned it as far as dispensaries go.
That's right. People were asking for it. I had one gentleman, I think he's 66. He was crying because he has lung cancer. He can't smoke. He doesn't want to smoke. And so anyways, he couldn't get, our baked goods were so effective for him. And so anyways, I told him that he could get it and drive up to Abbotsford. And he said he would. And, get a 2-week supply or whatever. And then...
it's not to say that the Abbotsford store
he went up there and I says, you can get cheap gas up there. So it made him happy. He drove up there and he got his cookies. So you know what? That's so immoral, really, having to force somebody to go and drive such a distance.
We know how they're starting to do it with they're putting it in vegetable oil through the hydro pocket. They're the ones who got granted the license to be able to produce oil for patients. But I mean, it's like, here's some vegetable oil and go home and cook something. It's ridiculous.
So on October 19th, we're having a referendum about marijuana. Get out and vote, people.
Oh, yeah,
vote out
absolutely.
Stephen Harper, and maybe we won't be having these conversations like this. If cannabis wasn't illegal, we'd be able to compare it to alcohol and demand some sort of a level playing field. But what they say is, but it's illegal, so therefore, we can't treat it the same. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. Get out and vote.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the problem is our vote is split. We've got it between the Greens, the Liberals.
Vote for whoever's going to beat the Conservative in your riding is my strategy. I don't trust any of those other parties, but I say vote for anybody but Stephen Harper, who has the chance of winning.
Anybody but Conservatives. But anyways, the thing is, go count the signs in your riding. Mm-hmm. Count if it's a lot of NDP, vote NDP. Yeah. If it's a lot of Liberals, vote Liberal.
Yeah, and
exactly.
I think you can find
there's polling online too.
Yeah, exactly. Go to CBC or one of those places. They have them. I'll put
on my site. I've put it up on my site too.
Yeah, I'll put.
And there's actually not that many ridings in Canada that are really swing ridings. That there's really much of a chance of somebody other than who's going to win it.
Yeah.
So that's what they say anyway. That's what the polls say. They've
Yeah,
identified a bunch of ridings in Canada where there is a possibility of voting somebody out.
Right.
And it's not all of them, that's for sure.
It's a silly system we have, this first past the post thing, because it really allows for it really just allows these zealots to get in control of the machine with a very small crew of dedicated people.
Oh yeah, by the time you do the percentage of people, it's very small. That's why, if we'd had proportional representation, we would have had at least 2 people in the BC legislature when we got 3.5% of the vote in 2000.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as we have governments that are not limited in what they can do, they're not accountable for what they do, and they operate without transparency, it's really important that we don't get the wrong people in there because they get to do what they want at our expense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, waste our tax. Yeah.
Well,
important times.
Don, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about it today. Now,
My pleasure.
You're going to be working on this campaign moving forward to really kind of make them aware of those things we talked about. I'd like to do anything we can here at Pot TV and Cannabis Culture to put it out there too. And I've been sending direct tweets right to the councillors and everything. I think we really ought to hit these councillors. It's odd that Adrienne Carr, for instance, she's really on our side. She believes in full legalization, and she does have some power there. We should probably try and have meetings or target them directly, I think.
Yeah, that would be great, yeah.
Yeah, and especially, and I wonder how that plays into this. There's been
what
speculation.
What about now that she's not there anymore? Come get her here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
Hire Penny to work for us.
Yeah, well, not just to come and do an interview.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to talk to her about the whole thing, actually. Maybe she can now.
Well, yeah.
It's interesting. I wonder about Penny. Neil, I haven't talked to you about this, but remember back when they were actually passing this new vapor bylaw, they were attaching it to the smoking one. You and I were there, and we sat through 16 hours of city council bullshit, including like Uber taxi stuff. But
then we got up and voiced our opinion of what we thought, and then she came racing out after us in the parking lot to assure us that it was not going to affect the cannabis people.
And she was actually really kind to us and nice, and she came out and said, this isn't to target marijuana, we don't want to do that. And then all of a sudden, the
vapor
whole
lounges
thing,
are included in the whole thing, and
there was a change of tune. But now she's out. So I wonder, was that coming from her? Was that coming from Gregor? What's going on there?
I didn't get a good sense of Penny. I didn't like her very much.
I would think if she's gone, then her policies might, influence a little change. I heard, and I don't know where I can find out this, but that they're going to allow drinks now and call it a diluted tincture. So I don't know if you've heard that or not. So and why
they're
not?
They're going to allow what?
Why not? Because here, what's it? So all we have to do is liquefy the cookies, and away we go. Right?
You were at the meetings that I was at where they discussed all this stuff, and at the first one they didn't have a police officer there. At the second one they did.
Yeah, that's right.
And it changed a lot from the first one to the second one, kind of what the tune was about the whole thing. But part of it still seemed a little like. Just like they didn't really know.
He was uninformed too.
Yeah, he was completely uninformed. He was actually
this is
really
new ground.
badly uninformed.
Yeah, but this is, again, once more, new ground. It's like, going into the forest and cutting a road through there. You're going through new spots, right? And that's the same thing with the city of Vancouver. First city in the whole world.
Don. We've been self-regulating for all this time, and I think we've done a good job of it.
Yeah, I understand that part, but I'm saying...
Those roads are already through the forest.
Yeah, they're not following them.
They're not following them. They don't see those roads at all.
Yeah,
they came in at some other point in the forest. They don't know they're there.
Yeah, here and there. But that's the point is, they're still way ahead of everybody.
That's true. It was, it was
don't
weird.
Do this in Texas. Come on, try Louisiana. You know what I mean? So
it was odd because the city themselves didn't really have any rules against anybody, even including recreational sales. And they also said that any kind of tincture included anything, and that includes like alcohol and stuff. So it seems odd that they don't really have any real rules around it, but yet they're saying, well, we're trying to stay out of the actual governance, but you can't have edibles. So
dispensaries can serve cannabis as long as it's mixed with alcohol?
Yeah, and that's weird. And then
that makes sense actually in our world.
Alcohol law involved. But then it was this Constable Mike Sir who said that any dispensary that's not following the MMAR or MMPR rules will be closed down.
Right.
That's what he tried to say. But then when we talked to him afterwards, he's like, well, kind of just like whatever they're doing now. And that was his final thing.
Yeah.
We kind of surrounded him, and he was like,
clueless.
And Megs, he brought up so many times, where are they getting their marijuana from? They need to have a regulated supply.
That was another issue that was brought up, right?
Yeah.
About the fact that we needed a regulated supply.
I'm afraid that's one of the things they're going to tweak down the road. Is they're going to say, okay, you dispensaries that are now licensed, now you have to get your pot from licensed producers. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
Well,
we need to stand up for the growers.
Good luck.
No, good luck.
And that's not even part of the federal system. It'd be
there's a vote.
They're not allowed to sell to it.
There's a vote
No, but they're
coming
moving
up here.
towards that, and I know that's what they want, and I think that there'll be adjustments at the federal level to allow for that. It makes sense that there would be storefronts down the road for them. They all want it.
Well, they should.
What if the Liberals win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
Who
all
knows?
new. Okay.
Yeah, the regime that's there now could be finally gone.
Could be all over October 20th.
So yeah. So again, that I would just I want to put my efforts into telling everybody to vote.
Yeah.
Get out and vote.
And you can vote now. You can vote now. You can vote today. You can go down there and vote today. And if you're not on the list, contact elections.ca. I think
get on there.
Are they open on Sunday?
Yeah, this is your chance. This is your opportunity for sure.
They're not open on Sunday to vote.
No.
So
any
anyways,
weekday you can
do
vote
it.
leading up to the election at this point. Get
Once
it done.
more, count the signs. See if you see more NDP or more Liberals. Vote for whoever's got the most.
And if you've never voted, you'll be amazed how you feel after you actually vote and walk away and go, hey, I actually
spectacular.
voted.
Yeah, I know people who said they're going to vote for the first time, young people.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I'm going to really tell them.
We can take control of this if people would do that, but they're counting on people not doing that. That's how they've succeeded in oppressing us for all these decades is people don't vote.
Well, see, notice they
people
try to
that
make
vote
it
are
harder
their
to
people.
vote.
We'll give you a deal at Cannabis Culture if you vote.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they try to make it harder. They have made it harder.
We really will.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There's actually a deal at our store. If you vote, we'll give you a medtainer, a lighter, and a bunch of a free pass to the lounge.
So you got to bring your voting ticket back.
And they were also talking on CBC today that Eden, with 15,000 members, they've got the Harvest Cup coming up at the end of October, and they're going to award a judge's pass to one of their members, and you enter that by voting. So every member of theirs that votes, you get entered into a contest to win a judge's pass and get 40 grand a week.
Yeah,
and that Harvest Cup is coming up, the Harvest Moon Cup.
Yeah, with Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Fuck, I want to go to that.
Yeah.
I'm an Eden member. I guess I got to vote and go down and get in the contest there.
We're going to have Mike from Eden on the show to talk about that.
Nice.
Yeah, not next week,
Put
but
in a
the
good
week
word
after.
for me.
Yes, he's coming on to talk about
to
that.
him anyway.
Yeah, and hopefully, I think Pot TV will have some. I'm hoping we're going to the show or something like that. We'll figure out some way of. I don't think we'll be broadcasting things live from there or anything, but.
Cool.
We do want to heavily promote the cup though, because it's cool that Snoop Dogg's coming, man.
Yeah,
and those guys
on.
at Eden are really good guys.
Yeah.
The guys who are putting this whole show together are totally awesome guys. So we should really support
end of October,
them.
I believe, so that's coming up pretty fast. Yeah. And there's one coming up a lot faster than that. I'm really excited. Really excited.
Oh yeah.
Prairie Harvest Cup.
Dun, 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 dun. Next weekend.
Wow.
You and
The
I
Prairie
and
Medicinal
Matt
Harvest
are
Cup.
Host this thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
fun.
Marijuana Man's coming too. So I'm
And
sure
Mark's
he's
going to be there. I saw
Mark's
going to
be there.
Mark and Jody
Jody's
are going to
be there.
Wow.
There's
That's
going to be
awesome.
Pot Olympics there this year.
Nice.
It's going to
Are they
be
going to
quite
come
the
anywhere
show.
close to the amount of strains they had last year? Because that was just insane. That was like, how can
I don't
you
know
test
how
all
many
those
they
strains
have.
in one weekend?
Yeah, I know.
And
It's-
concentrates this time too.
That's the thing with these damn
just
cups.
crazy.
You just get totally blitzed the entire time. There's no way to accurately. Once you're like 3 or 4
don't say
strains
that.
in,
You're whacked.
Go
It's
there.
over,
Come on
eh?
now. We're all good judges. We're professionals.
I don't know, man. I have a hard time. Once I'm 5
This
or
is
6
serious
strains
work
in,
we're doing.
I'm like, it just
You're
doesn't
done.
make any difference anymore.
No, these results are real.
Yeah.
This is serious
But
professional
you
work.
can smell
book a
weed,
hotel
and you don't necessarily have to just have the high of it to tell that it's a good.
You can tell
pot.
it's good weed.
Yeah, you can look at it. You can see there's other
sure
signs.
you
Carol, we
Yeah.
just get her microscope and
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
bring,
Get in there
bring
with the
magnifying
microscope.
glasses, mini scopes, sure, that
you can
works.
tell. Actually,
Yeah.
being high, I mean, sometimes it just helps you get in there a little closer and have a closer look and a closer
right.
smell.
That's right.
It's right into it.
So
Lost in the bud.
now, Don, is there any way that people can help you in your drive right now to get this out there? I mean, besides just going to your dispensaries, that's really the way to help you, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, that as well as, but talk about it. I mean,
Because when you're going to make this thing up, you're going to have it available at your stores, right?
Oh yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So basically, what you need to do is email, phone, do whatever you can. City council members, anybody, any politician that you know, and talk to them about it, and just say, look, it's about time. Look what Colorado's doing. They took $300 million away from organized crime. It didn't get funneled out of the country into Europe or some Swiss bank account. 57 million, I believe, was the number approximately that was taken in by the state for taxes, and the rest, just over 230 million or whatever it was, that was spent in the community, rent, housing, clothes, entertainment.
I saw
food,
Gordzilla, the asshole editorialist from the province there. He wrote an article yesterday too, and he was talking about the problems that have resulted in Colorado.
Oh, and, good. What are the problems?
He said he named 3.
Too much money.
But and he said plus scores of more. But one of them
Too
was
much money for education.
29% increase in people going to emergency rooms.
What?
Because of cannabis. And there is an increase in Colorado of people showing up at the emergency with their kids who have gotten into their edibles because they're concerned about their kids. There's really no serious harm to the kids. But the reason that there's more people showing up there is because they don't feel like they're criminals anymore. If they're worried about their kid, they can take them to the emergency and say, this is what's happened, and and is he okay? So there's not a huge increase, in fact, there's no increase. In fact, there isn't numbers to increase of kids being harmed by cannabis in Colorado.
Yeah.
But there is an increase in people showing up at hospital.
Because they're scared.
Because they're not scared of the criminal law anymore.
Well, yeah, and they're scared about their child.
They're scared about
sick.
their kid and their health, but they're no longer scared that they're going to be criminalized for doing that.
Exactly.
And that was one of the huge problems that we had with prohibition in general, and prohibition of other drugs as well. I mean, if kids are having a party and teenagers are having a party and they're using MDMA and somebody has a problem and overdosing or something like that, they don't want to call the ambulance. They don't want to call anybody because they're going to get in trouble for that.
What about 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds at a house party passed out drunk?
Yeah, same thing.
Just one.
Same thing.
It doesn't happen very often, but one kid.
At Harper's house it happened.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But some kids guzzle half a bottle of whiskey and they die from alcohol poisoning. It's shock. They don't realize how poisonous it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, I think, Neil, you nailed it, though. It's just that the stigma is being removed, so people are feeling okay with going on and doing these things.
Yep.
The same is happening here in Vancouver with our 420 rally and our 64 hospital visits. That's partially because we're sending people there. We have an ambulance there that brings people directly there or whatever. It's like these things, and then they try and sell it as, it's much, much worse than it ever was. Well, it's that these people can finally, if they do have an issue, go.
Well, and 420 was a hot day last year,
Yeah.
and it was more packed than it's ever been, as happens every year. There's so many people there all day. Edibles are more and more popular every year.
Yeah.
And they're
and
stronger.
so there's a lot of people eating edibles from who knows what source, no regulation whatsoever. Stuff being left out in the hot sun all day long. Who knows, what it is and what it's made of and what's in that.
That's right, yeah, and
so
how strong
you're
they
bound
are.
to have some problems. 64 people out of an event that probably saw 40 or 50,000 people go through there during the course of the day. That's a pretty low number.
That's amazing. Could you imagine if that was alcohol?
Well, you get more people than that on a Saturday night on the gravel ball.
Well, yeah. I mean, and there's
Just in
it's
the city
crazy.
of Vancouver, there's more than 64 people end up in hospitals around the city every night, every weekend, just from alcohol-related problems. And they're serious. And the 64 people that went from 420 to the hospital, over half of them never even got admitted in there. They just walked out and went home, and nobody stayed the night and nobody was in any serious trouble.
Yeah.
They failed to mention all of that stuff because there's still, like you said, and that's how we started this conversation, there still seems to be some motivation out there to engage in reefer madness and to demonize cannabis and cannabis users. You know that there's a huge amount of pharmacies that have been robbed in the last 6 months in BC? A
What
huge
for?
amount. I'd never heard that before, but they did mention it on the news the other day. Some commentary about something is, yes, there's been a huge amount of pharmacy thefts, or robberies over the last 6 months in BC. I'd never heard about that. You never hear about that. But if there's a robbery at a dispensary, that's all over the news.
Front page
Man, that's
news.
Huge news. You'd hear about that for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
It's amazing that they don't publicize that.
They don't publicize those things, And on a slightly different topic, overdoses from pharmaceuticals. Doctors are under no obligation to report adverse effects or overdoses from the pharmaceuticals that they prescribe.
Sure.
And it's not in their best interests to report those things.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
Yeah, let's look at how many people are actually dying from their drugs as opposed to, 64 hospital visits is nothing compared to what actually at that hospital, how many people
What
will
are the
die.
numbers of percentage of people in Canada that die from pharmaceuticals in America every year?
It's huge.
Daily.
It's brutal.
Officially, it's huge, but unofficially, it's considerably larger because, as I pointed out, there's no obligation to report those things by physicians.
Yeah.
So, we're living in a world where the corporate takeover of our democracy has been in effect for a good 100 years or
that's
more,
right.
And these huge corporations, the pharmaceutical ones, the oil companies are so well leveraged. They've got so much money and so much power, and they're protecting their interests at the expense of cannabis. And that's why we're here doing what we're doing. It's these people. And they're killing people. You know, cars kill more people than cannabis by a huge amount. Just the exhaust from cars.
Bee kills more people.
When they put in that connector on River Road that goes through Delta, they did a study how many people are going to die from respiratory illness as a result of the increased traffic on this highway. And there was, I don't know what the numbers were. I don't want to say anything because I don't remember what they were. But there was numbers of people that were going to be impacted by the excess traffic on that road through respiratory disease because of the exhaust fumes coming off of cars.
Wow.
So, you
amazing.
know, it is. And cannabis fumes won't kill you, and yet it's the one that gets demonized. So. Yeah, we all know that. We're preaching to the choir. We're harmonizing a little bit.
Right. Well, Don, I really appreciate you coming on, and
my
I'm
pleasure,
glad that
sure.
you know that you're fighting this one because
everybody's fighting.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Everybody. Well, and there are others now. I know I saw a post that Reg made today about his fight, and he's got a lawyer lined up for his battle.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So we'll have him on sometime soon as well to talk about it.
We'll see how far it goes. Keep an eye on it.
Don, you've had a great career of inspiring people who inspire people who inspire people who inspire people.
Okay, well,
it's been growing for a long time
let's keep rocking.
Let's keep rocking.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Okay.
And
the fire truck's ready to roll.
I was going to ask you about the fire truck. I was going to mention the fire truck.
It's running like a clock now.
It is.
Really finally we got it running.
Needs a little bit of refurbishing
for the next rally then.
Yeah, we want to polish it now.
Yeah. Somehow we need to bring it and make it a centerpiece in the 420 celebration.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Even if we just like had it there in some spot or something, we can roll it in.
Let's see him tow that thing out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
it's time we flexed our muscles a little bit, isn't it? After what they did on Cannabis Day,
we
need to flex our muscles.
We'll be back at the art gallery again this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless anything dramatic.
And you're going to be driving around in that truck with some weed signs on it.
Well, something. I mean, it's a nice little truck for
good advertising tool, I think.
Yeah.
People love fire trucks.
Oh, yeah. Fire truck is awesome.
We took it recently from where it was out in White Rock to bring it into a place in Burnaby to have the mechanics looked after. And when we pulled it into the little side street there, all the kids in the neighborhood were out there within minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, look at that.
Well, everybody loves a fire truck.
Fire trucks are awesome.
Yeah, they're just big machines. And they serve a noble purpose no matter what. So.
They do, true, for sure.
No, and where Don, tell us about the fire truck. How did you acquire this fire truck?
Oh, well, it was a friend of mine that got it, and it was going to the scrapyard, or it was going to get dismantled, and it just looked too nice. It only had 34,000 kilometers on it.
Wow.
It was Sunshine Valley fire truck. Sat inside most of the time.
It's a nice lime green.
They don't get a lot of driving time.
So it's a pretty cool little truck. Drives really nice.
Cool.
It's way easier to drive around than a bus, I'll tell you. Even a motorhome. But anyways,
it's pretty big.
Yeah, everybody likes it.
And you drive it yourself?
Yeah, I drive it myself. Yeah.
You love driving that thing.
Oh yeah, it's fun to drive. Yeah.
It looks like I love driving a truck too, so it's fun.
All right. Okay. Well, it's been a slice.
Awesome. Thanks, Don, for coming on. Really appreciate having you.
Keep up the fight.
Yeah. Here, give me one of these. Thanks a lot, man, for sure. And we'll have you back again soon to talk about everything. Hopefully, nothing dramatic will happen. Too dramatic until then. Yeah.
I think you've had enough of me. I see Jody Emery's in the house. You going to talk
Jody's
to her?
here, and I want to bring Sam on.
Sam's here. He's got Ganja yoga going on Wednesdays.
Right. That's next on the list here. So
all right, Sam, come on up.
Sam, you should come up here, and you and
Peace
Neil
and pot.
can switch
Freedom.
up here. Thanks, Neil. Give me one of those. Thanks, brother. And Jody's in the house there, and Vicky, Carly, got the crew. Sam, man, how you doing, man? Give me one of those. Yeah, you too, man. Ganja Yoga is back again. Now, you did last Wednesday, and did you do, what day is it today? This Wednesday? Did you do Friday?
No,
you didn't do it.
we're doing kind of a bigger campaign, so we've been getting it out there, and so we are planning on doing it this Wednesday.
I can zoom in on us. Look at that. Oh yeah.
Oh, what? It looks so good.
So this Wednesday then.
Yes, this Wednesday coming.
If you're in the city of Vancouver, come on down.
Definitely.
Ganja Yoga. And Sam, okay, explain this whole concept of Ganja Yoga. How do the two correspond? Why is that a thing? And how does it help?
Okay. Oh, good question. I started with Ganja yoga about 2.5 years ago or so in Toronto. That's where I'm from.
Right.
And my teacher, Lou Pansini, is one of the pioneers of Ganja yoga. And what she's done is she's taken the classical Hatha yoga practice and incorporate cannabis, because a lot of yoga teachers and people that do yoga regularly are pot smokers. And because, this is a medicinal plant that actually helps you in so many different ways. And how I started using cannabis was through yoga. So it's been it's had an incredible impact in my life. And I just want to show people how to use it in a conscious way. And we do have a bit of a schedule on how we do it, but it's quite graceful, yeah.
And we had Ganja yoga here before you started doing it here as well. So it does seem to be something that is, I guess, were you related to that one at all?
Actually, that woman that did it here was the one that kind of started it.
Right.
And she didn't teach my teacher yoga, but she introduced Ganja yoga to her. She was one of her students, and she's like, "Oh, I should." My teacher just took it by the horns and made it huge. That's right. There totally is. So I'm certainly in that succession.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So, and yoga, for people who aren't really familiar or think that yoga is just like something where you're exercising or doing stretches and things like that, there's a lot more to yoga than just exercising. There's something that people, this yoga's been around for a long time. People have been using it to, we have Johnny B on the couch as well. People have been using it
for me
to expand their consciousness in a way, right? It's actually about, stretching your brain out in a lot of ways. So I think I see why it corresponds to pot. But, what is that about yoga? There's something deeper than just exercising, obviously.
Yeah, certainly. And the yoga that I practice, Hatha, Ha means sun, Tha means moon. It's actually integrating the masculine and the feminine. And to master the body, you have to master the mind. But once you master the body and mind, you can master the spirit. That's the path of illumination, essentially. So it's yoga. The asanas, the physical activity, is only one of 8 parts of yoga. Yoga is a lifestyle. And so I'd like to bring that more classical, meditative focus in mind, as opposed to it just being an exercise of stretching. So absolutely, it's supposed to work on all those fronts.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Bong toke?
I think we have to.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is what we do at Ganja Yoga too. We have a beautiful schedule on how we line everything up.
And now, you guys actually, it's like a contribution, and people bring their own pot, but you kind of put it all in together, and we're talking to me about targeting using sativas or indicas, or kind of knowing something about the strains.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's super important, and luckily with my benefit of working with a dispensary and getting to know about the different strains and doing the yoga practice, what we want to do is everyone comes in contributing a little bit of cannabis, whatever you can. We have 2 bowls, an indica bowl and a sativa bowl. And we put all the sativas together, and we vape. And we also have bongs going around, or however people like to consume. But how we start the practice is, we get people in, doors open at 6. So we basically start smoking right away, and we'll smoke for about an hour. Just with a really chill vibe. People can talk, lightly stretch. I have music going. And then we go into, at 7 o'clock, we go into a meditation, and then a classical Hatha yoga practice. And then we'll smoke again. When we finish the yoga, we take a water and smoke break. And that time is when we smoke the indicas right before Shavasana. So you lay and finish, and then it's good. That's how it ends.
Nice. Well, it sounds like, I've read a little bit about yoga because I'm interested in Western occult magic, guys like Aleister Crowley and that kind of stuff. So, and he writes a lot about yoga and about how that affects the mind and those things. And he also writes a lot about cannabis and about how, the way Crowley says it is, cannabis loosens the girders of the soul, he says. And so I think what he's meaning is that it kind of allows you to, because it's about going into trance states, in certain ways when you're accessing, you know, some of these things in yoga and magic and other things. The cannabis is kind of like a shortcut, whereas, you know, people might spend a long, long time using meditation to evoke this trance state in themselves. The cannabis and other things like, you know, LSD or other things can kind of jumpstart those same processes in your body and really kind of loosen the girders of your, you know, whatever it is, and allow you to feel this thing that is. And for people who have never felt one of those trance states, you know, it's a shocking kind of thing, and it's a very cool thing.
Yeah.
When you do feel one, it's definitely a tangible thing. And, you know, there's no two ways about it. That there are these other realms of whatever it is out there that you can access in certain ways, and it has a weird, dramatic effect on you and your psyche and your consciousness and the way you think and act and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, most definitely.
And your awareness of certain things around you and all kinds of things. So I don't know. I find it pretty cool that there's an ancient thing going on here where cannabis has been used for this kind of stuff for a long time.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The Babas in the Himalayas, they've been using hashish in their practice of meditation and yoga for millennia.
Right.
But I couldn't agree with you more what you went on about, and I felt that personally. You know, I did do yoga before at the Y maybe like 6 years ago, and it was very kind of like Western, and I didn't like it at all. But doing yoga with cannabis changed my life. It got me to go deep within myself, and throughout my practice, I've gone through trials and tribulations, just like with my body, and just getting more in tune with myself has certainly expanded my awareness of myself, and I'm just so grateful for this beautiful science, and that's what yoga is. It's a science of the body, and getting people to get more in tune with their bodies.
Right, and basically take a form of control over yourself that you didn't have there before, I think.
Most definitely.
You know, and you can train yourself to do a lot of things that you didn't realize you could do. And, you know, there's a lot of functions of your body and things that you might not be aware of now that, you know, those kinds of things make you aware of and put you in control of in certain ways. So,
oh, bang. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
and, you know, we were doing Ganja yoga here since February, but I was doing a morning class. And for about 4.5 months, I've seen some students that were just starting into it, and it was just so amazing to see how far they've come in their own different ways, and physically, and obviously that's connected with their other problems, right, with the mental and whatnot, me included.
It's a useful tool for a lot of things, so here
all right,
we are.
let's do this.
Thanks, man. And now there's it's cool to have you on talking about it, because it's something that, like, I don't do a lot of yoga, but I definitely have an admiration for this whole thing, and since you're doing it in the lounge, it's very cool to offer this to people. So if you're in Vancouver, come on down to 307 West Hastings, beautiful pot block here in the downtown center of Vancouver, right next to Hemp for Victory Square Park. They're working there. It's kind of a jumbo bong. It's Duchess. Oh yeah, nice.
So beautiful. Wow, what a huge bong.
Yeah, that's Duchess.
Love it. Wow.
The high guy.
Whoa.
Hi girl. And now, unfortunately, Mark had a high guy bong that was given to him by high guy himself, and it didn't make it. It crashed and smacked in two pieces. The really nice new tall one, we had it on the show not too long ago. That bong didn't make it, but R.I.P. to the high guy. Glass breaks. That's one thing about glasses, it breaks.
Well, I guess it was in our lives for that just moment. That's okay.
That's right, exactly.
There you go.
Better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Yeah, that's about right. I think so. Yeah, for sure.
And Princess, yes, 28 dabs later in the chat mentioned R.I.P. Princess. I do miss my old girl Princess. Think about her all the time. The memory lives on, 28 dabs later said. So very cool. So people can find out more about the Ganja yoga thing on Cannabis Culture. If you just type in Ganja yoga in the search, you'll find the article. Or if you go to the Facebook page, and where's that Facebook page?
Yeah, it's called Ganja Yoga Vancouver, and it's on Facebook. You can search that and like it and follow us, and we do have our events coming up. And I'm trying to get other teachers involved. So we have a little bit of a, multifarious kind of situation where we have different kinds of yoga and different ways, different styles of how to incorporate this beautiful medicine to your practice to elevate your life.
Well, you could put together one of these things. You see, like, the Chopra Yoga Center and all these places.
Oh, yeah,
they all have their kind of branding that goes with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's going to have their own yoga center. I'm surprised, like, Steve Nash doesn't have Steve Nash Yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. Wayne Gretzky Yoga, and he's, like, sitting there, Stephen Harper or something. Yeah. Did you see the picture of Wayne Gretzky with Stephen Harper holding a Stephen Harper sign?
No.
Yeah. Wayne,
no
you let
way.
us down, Wayne.
He did
That's
that?
not a pro star move. No. That's a lame thing. Well, anyways.
Oh, my God. That's so
I know.
disturbing.
I'm not sure that Wayne knows too much about politics or really is.
He's into the money.
He's a spokesman. Yeah. No, probably not. Stick to hockey. But yeah, man, it's cool to have you on the show. And
yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, so Wednesday nights is the class.
Yeah.
And it starts at 6 p.m. So doors open at 6 and we're out by 9. So just come. It's $10 and all the proceeds go to the Cannabis Culture Lounge to give us this beautiful space. We have quite a bit of beautiful space here. It's really nice with the sound equipment and everything. So, yeah, it's a great experience. So if you can come out with your yoga mat and your cannabis contribution and $10 for the lounge. Oh, yeah, you got to bring your own mat.
Neil will be there in his yoga shorts.
Absolutely. All levels. And
it won't be that.
Yeah, exactly. This is for all levels. We're doing the foundation, kind of fundamentals. So a lot of sun salutation, A's and whatnot. So it'll be good.
Cool, man.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great.
We'll have you back again soon. Sam, Ganja Yoga. And if you go to Facebook, just type in Ganja Yoga Vancouver. And, you'll definitely find what's happening here in the city. Hi, Carly Marley. I'm going to have you on over here, too. She's got the cat ears going on today. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. I like your hair.
Thank you.
It's very pretty.
Thanks.
Huh. So what's up?
Not much.
We got mad stuff on the go.
We do.
You and me together, we've been working on a whole shitload of stuff for this Cannabis Culture organization.
Yes, we have.
And you can find what we've been doing at the Cannabis Culture HQ store or cannabisculturehq.com that you're in charge of now. You're running because you took the initiative and you're really hauling ass. And tell us about what you've been doing in that store.
I've been adding a lot of merchandise every day, for starters. Making sure that we have everything we need. I added a bunch of oil slicks merchandise today. So that's pretty sweet. I added a bunch of dab tools the other day. So there's new stuff being added in all the time, and I'm hoping that is going to always be the case. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, we'll be adding new stuff every week. Essentially, there's new stuff going in the store.
Yeah, we might have some really exciting sales coming up as well.
Oh yes, aren't we having a Halloween sale?
I believe so.
I'm not sure. We haven't really organized that yet, but I think that's pretty.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have some sale coming up soon. If it's not that, it'll be a Christmas one. But
some haunted heady glass on sale, maybe.
Ah, yes. Okay, well, while I'm talking to you, I'm going to be fiddling in the background to get Chris Goodwin on the line here because Chris has renovated Vapor Central, and I wanted to talk to him about that. And I also wanted to talk to him about the NORML Conference that's happening there tomorrow. There's a NORML Canada National Conference that's at Vapor Central tomorrow. And we had John Vergadas on the show last week talking about it, but Chris is going to tell us about it this week, a little bit more what's happening. So, but I don't want to interrupt our conversation. You've also been doing other things for Cannabis Culture and Pot TV. Well, of course, your show, but you've been doing stuff for CC, another photo shoot just recently.
Yes. I just had another photo shoot, and the photographer was just awesome. In the same day we did the shoot, she messaged me all of the photos, and I responded with the ones I liked, and the same night she sent me back all the edited pictures, so we're going to have that article ready to go very soon, and that's on Canna Clothing Club, which has got some really nice stuff, some organic cotton designs. They've got some dab clothes, some really cool stuff, and it's an activist-run brand, which is always really awesome. I also just got word from Miss Mary Jane Co. that box of stuff is on the way for a photo shoot, so that's really exciting too, because that's a really great brand. Really excited to tell everyone about that one.
Miss Mary Jane Co.
Yes, they have some great designs as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been working hard, so there's lots of cool stuff, and I'm very thankful to have you doing that. You had your Opus show on Monday, you and Opus together, the 420 Lifestyle show, and that's been fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Aren't going to be doing it this week, though.
No, there's no show this Monday, unfortunately.
What up with that?
It's just been absolutely
Mick's doing
crazy.
stuff.
Yeah,
He's
Mick
been
is
busy.
moving, and there's a lot of craziness going on there. I've got a lot of craziness going on, so we're just, unfortunately there's no show this week because we would rather wait till the week after and bring you a really awesome show.
That is very cool. And yeah, you guys were, wait, which is the one that, Mick was going to play the recorded ones, the thing you guys worked on? Oh, sorry, whatever it was. Remember? I'm giving too much away. Is that still
There
coming
will be no episode this Monday, but the following Monday we will be filming out of a secret location.
Right, I see. Yes, yes, that. Thank you. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I didn't give anything away. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So the funny thing is I'm trying to get Chris Goodwin up here. I have the Skype Vapor Central thing going, but when I try and move the thing to try and get it on the screen, I see my second monitor here. The people at home can't see it, but I have a monitor here so the people in-house would be able to see Chris. It won't let me move it for some reason. It won't let me move it. But the people at home will be able to see him. It just means that the people in-house, I'm going to have to turn the screen. So people at home, calling Vapor Central right now, and we'll see how this goes. We are calling Vapor Central. Here's our... So that's awesome, Carly. I'm glad to have you on the team, and you've been doing a lot of really awesome work. So.
Yeah. There's going to be, I just added a bunch of cases, and very soon we're going to be offering where if you want to buy a piece of glass, you can buy a case, and then you can have your glass shipped in the case. So if people are tentative about buying glass online, we're going to be offering that feature soon so that you can just feel a little bit better about investing in a nice heady piece on our website.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great idea, linking those things together. It's just right now the technology that we're using, we have to sort of get all that programmed in, which I will deal with.
Yes.
And that's coming soon. This weekend we'll work on that.
Yes.
I just texted Chris to tell him that we're attempting to call him now. Aha, let's see here. There he is. Okay, hold on a sec here. Make sure our volume and everything are working. I see you there. Hey, hey, hey. And volume up. Can I hear you, though? Speakers are on mute, it says. And how do we change that? I'm taking Chris off mute. Why is it on mute? Are you there, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
We can see him, but we can't hear him. Uh-oh. Strange, I can't hear you, Chris. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Are you there? Huh. Oh, wait, here we go. Now we gotcha. There he is. Hi, Chris. And now they can hear you at home.
Awesome.
Good to have you on the show. I haven't seen you in a while. You're looking good, brother, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Nice tatties there on the arm.
Yeah, I still got a lot more work to do.
It's nice to have you on the show. I miss you, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. We'll be coming
Yeah, it's been a while.
to Toronto soon for the Karma Cup.
Yeah, the Karma Cup's coming up.
Yeah, and look at that new design you have at Vapor Central. You guys have been working hard on the renovations there.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here, hold on a sec. Is that causing any issues? Should be good. Hopefully the chatters, I'm going to get my chat window back up here so I can tell if they can hear you properly or not. Let's see here. Chatters, if you're having problems, let me know. But can I see that again, Chris? Show us that shot again. So that's the actual, is that the real picture or just a drawing of it?
That's a 3D. Everything in there is a 3D render.
Right.
The actual, if I have it here.
Yeah, do you have a real picture?
I have some real. That was it emptied out.
Oh, yeah.
Completely empty.
Craziness.
And let's see. Here's a couple more.
Oh, cool. What? It looks
This was
awesome.
dark the other night, though. But that's the new bar, and all the back bar with the TVs and the bong bar, and
It looks kick-ass, man. Wow, nice work. What did it cost to do the whole thing, if you don't mind me asking? Is it...
well, we
talk
were
about that?
budgeted like 50 grand. It went a little over 100,000.
A little over 100,000, wow.
Yeah, to build all this.
I want to just quickly, I'm going to change the orientation of this little capture window. Hold on one sec, brother.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm not even watching the show, so I don't know what it looks like.
It doesn't look bad. I just wanted to center it a little bit better. For some reason,
Alright.
Skype won't allow me to move you around anywhere. Like, the window itself is just being solitary. I was going to try and put you on the screen for the whole crowd in here to see, but I just got you for myself and the others in the vicinity.
Sure.
But looking good. Is that your pad or something?
Yeah, this is my apartment.
Nice. And,
Aaron's in the background listening on headphones.
hi, Aaron. Good to see you. Does it sound okay?
She's on a delay, I think.
Oh, yeah, probably. So,
She's
Chris,
listening to the show.
not only do you have this new fancy vapor lounge going on, tomorrow you're going to be doing the NORML Conference there.
Hey, Chris, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, NORML Conference tomorrow. It starts at 1 p.m., but we're doing like a lunch thing at noon. And we got like Alan Young and John Conroy's flying in, and Paul Lewin, and there's a women's grow panel. There's another like dozen people speaking. So it's a big event. They got a lot of things planned. They're giving away like $1,000 in prizes and raffles, and so yeah, I'm glad they chose Vapor Central as a venue to do it in.
Yeah, they did it last year at the Treating Yourself Expo, but
That's right.
or whatever it was called, Champs, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, that's cool that Vapor Central's jumping spot to do it. And Chris, you guys are doing all kinds of stuff at Vapor Central. The people at Pot TV, we haven't been tuning into some of it, or we haven't had some of it on the front page because we've had our own issues, but also getting you access recently. But we're gonna make sure all that.
Yeah, what's up with your hosting, yo?
Oh, we got mad hosting problems with iWeb. Jesus. Oh, man. I'm like, we'll talk later about all that, but Jesus. I don't know. It's the only, we need a better Canadian web company. We don't want to move all our data to the States, and so iWeb was like one of the big Canadian ones, but something ain't right over there at the moment. But anyways.
So Vapor Central content will be back on the homepage of Pot TV soon.
Yes, VC stuff will come back up. It looks like I have cookies going on here or something. Here, we'll cut back to you. Oh, what do I got? Is it an edible?
It is an edible.
Oh.
It's like half and half, like half can of butter and half
That's
regular.
going to mess me up, but I will take it. It smells delicious.
Yeah.
Thank
it's really
you.
Good.
And what's your name?
Victoria.
Victoria. Nice to meet you, Victoria. I'm Jeremiah. Here, you're going to be on cam. Do you want to be on cam for a sec? You can sit on the couch for a sec if you want to. Yeah. Here, yeah, scooch on down. Here, just quickly. Chris, hold on a sec here.
No worries, yo.
There's Victoria. Uh-oh, Johnny's throwing his stuff around over there.
I'm not working too well.
She gave me a
right now,
cookie.
sorry.
This looks delicious.
Yeah, it's coconut with cocoa powder.
Let's go on the cookie cam.
I've also made chocolate chip, walnut, and then regular chocolate chip.
Well, thank you very much for that.
I always
Awesome.
give it to the staff.
Very nice. I appreciate it. Oh, look, Chris has got the... What is that we're looking at, Chris?
The audio video rack that I do everything, all Pot TV stuff out of. It used to be gray, and we got these things printed. On the other side that you can't see it, there's a Pot TV logo.
Very
It
nice.
looks beautiful.
Awesome. Oh, that cookie's delicious. Very good. So, Chris, tell us about what you guys have going on at Vapor Central on your live feed. Sarah
Well, all of
Hanlon
our regular shows, from Mike Rita Stoner Sundays on Monday, and then now we have two shows on Sunday, and then we have two shows on Monday again. There's the CK podcast, and then following that is the Sarah Hanlon show, the winner of Big Brother Canada 3. She hosts her own show every Monday night. And then Tuesday's the Myrnawana Zone, like we've been doing for 220-something episodes, and Weedy Wednesday and Third Class Thursdays, and then normally Friday and Saturday are just open. There's no weekly shows. But tonight, Friday night, we have a burlesque show with comedy, and a guy from America's Got Talent, Chris Jones, a hypnotist, contacted us through email and wants to come on the show and do 10 minutes of his little gag. So see if he can hypnotize Matt Murnaugh to say that he's going to vote for Justin Trudeau, and we're going to do a couple funny little gimmicks.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man, that should be good.
And then tomorrow, all day Saturday in the afternoon, noon to 6 p.m. is the NORML National Conference, and we're going to be broadcasting it live. So all the speeches from John Conroy, Alan Young, the Women's Conference, it'll all be broadcast live on our Vapor Central channel, and hopefully Pot TV will have a post up about it.
Yeah, we'll put it on Pot TV for sure. Make sure it's spread it around. That's great, man. It's good to see that. And I was going to ask you how you wired the place up now that you got the renovations. Did you change anything?
Oh, we changed a lot of stuff. I pulled down every wire in the place, so tried to make it more efficient. The speakers used to be on the walls. Now they're on the ceiling, pointing downwards. And we obviously repainted the whole place. We did all the floors, repainted the ceiling, installed the new bar, which is fabulous. Mm-hmm. And it's coming along.
I see the Karma Cup logo there. That's
awesome.
Yeah,
on a coffee cup.
Very nice. Coming soon. That's cool. Well, good work, man. Looks really great there. I'm excited to get our new studio going. We've got it kind of in the process right now. Neil was just in there today working on it.
Yeah, I heard you're building a new Pot TV studio where you're gonna broadcast in a little booth now instead of in front of an audience. Is that how it's working?
Actually, we're gonna take one of the walls down and make it glass so that there'll be a glass kind of wall where people can see into the studio from the lounge.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we'll have an on-air sign, and we'll have the speakers outside so we can actually turn them on for people to listen and stuff. But it'll cut down on some of the crosstalk and all the in-their lounge stuff. And yeah, it should be cool. We've got it kind of set up studio style, so it'll have monitors and screens and all that crap. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, Chris, really excellent work out there as usual. And what about Vapor Central itself? You guys are still hustling. It must be busy now that you guys are open again.
Yeah, so we were only supposed to be closed for 10 days. We ended up closing for 12 days. When we opened on day 13, I'm still calling it a soft opening because there's so many little things left to do. We're only, I would still say 90 to 95% done the renovations. There's still dozens and dozens of little cosmetic details that I don't consider us, the grand reopening hasn't even happened yet. So, yeah, but we are open, but I've been warning people on a lot of the posts on vaporcentral.com that if you come in, expect maybe some mid-afternoon construction. We may be still doing things. We had the electrician in yesterday powering up the bar. So now the bar has plugs all throughout it. And yeah, it's coming along.
Cool, man. I can't wait to be back there. Vapor Central it's my favorite spot to hang out in Toronto for sure. No doubt about it. It's basically
You're coming for the Karma Cup, aren't you?
Yeah, coming for the Karma Cup.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
So awesome. I'll see you soon, and that's what I was saying. It's going to be, I can't wait to see you guys.
One question Aaron had was, Mark and Jody are staying past Monday night. So the election on Monday, October 19th.
Yep.
And we're having our two shows, the CK Podcast and Sarah Hanlon Show, but then we're doing a special Marijuana Zone Kush.ca election party.
Cool.
Are you going to be around Monday night?
We're going to be around, I think we will be around on Monday. I can't remember if we're leaving on Monday or Tuesday, but I'll look at the tickets and find out. I'm pretty sure we're leaving on Tuesday. I think we decided to stay an extra day just to hang out.
Better vote in the early voting then.
I will. Don't worry. I'm going down the street. Yeah, I will make sure not to miss that. We have a place just down the block that we can go and actually vote at. Have you guys voted yet? You haven't.
I got my card yesterday, and I definitely will be voting.
Johnny, go vote. What about you, Chris?
100%.
Have you voted?
I have voted in every election since I've been 18. Municipal, provincial, federal, and anything else that came up. So.
Who are you voting for?
I'm voting Liberal.
Yeah. Good work.
I am voting Liberal.
And you haven't been able to convince Murnaugh to do the same without a hypnotist?
No, he's a hardcore socialist. He's clearly NDP all the way, and
Tom
And
Mulcair.
in his riding to it probably makes sense. His candidate, he meets with them often. He's on the board on the disability committee. Clearly, he's voting NDP in his riding.
Yeah. I just had to say that cookie was absolutely delicious. It was so good. It was really, really. That was one of the best.
I watched everybody devour those things, and I'm kind of like doing this
Nice
no
work.
dairy, and everybody around here has got huge
Did a
smiles, and I
champion
feel
job of
left
that.
out.
Those are delicious. Wow. Very nice. So Chris, the normal thing tomorrow starts at 1 your time. That's 1 Eastern.
1 Eastern, so 10 a.m. Pacific, I guess. And but we'll be live probably an hour before that, but there'll be nothing going on. It'll be like an hour pre-show and just showing people coming into the room and stuff. But we'll be live anyways. I just like to go live early.
I know you do. That's good, though. It's cool.
And so we'll be live for 6 hours at least tomorrow, noon to 6, maybe a little longer. Because there's a Q&A at the end, and we don't know how long that's going to go. So...
Well, we'll make sure to post that around and spread it on our Pot TV Facebook page and everything else, or our Cannabis Culture Facebook page. And yes, Chris, I'm hoping to have access restored to you this weekend. Like, I'm pretty sure that everything's back in line now to actually get you that access. Our poor designer Annette has also been struggling with this company to get the proper access for herself. So we're in the process.
Yeah, so I used to be able to post my own show notes, and I haven't been able to for the past 3 months since the changeover.
Yes, exactly. There's been issues.
Right.
But thank you for everything that you do, Chris. You guys are awesome out there. You and Aaron are amazing. Vapor Central's the shit. So go there to Vapor Central.
Awesome,
Downtown
Chris.
Toronto. What's the address?
667 Yonge Street.
667 Yonge. Best vapor lounge in Toronto by far.
And they just got
So yeah,
this
we'll be
really
live
cool
in like
red
45 minutes for that burlesque show. So after CCN Live, if you guys want to turn the channel over to Vapor Central, we'll be live.
Live viewers, go hit up.
The Hypnotist, burlesque, comedy, it's going to be fun.
I want to see this Hypnotist. That's going to be fun.
I'll watch the show.
I'll try and get it. We're going out for dinner with Gary, our designer, who's going on a trip across Asia soon. So I won't be able to see all of it, but I'll tune in while I'm cleaning up around here.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Well, thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it. Love you
Thanks
a lot.
for having me.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll talk again soon. Give my best to Erin, your lovely wife, and everybody there, and the crew. She's got the Beats by Dre headphones going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was Chris and Aaron in Toronto on Skype. It looked pretty good too. Yeah, look at that, Chris. It doesn't look bad actually. Everything seems to be no crashes today. There's been some live stream issues lately. Me and Chris have struggled with live stream for a long time together. There's been chat lag a lot lately. The chatters are all complaining about chat lag.
Hey, don't
Is that happening on the Vapor Central site too?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it's been here on the Pot TV one a lot. And live stream actually, when I try and download...
Live stream went totally down the other day. First time I've ever seen the whole site was down.
On Wednesday it did too, because we tried... Yeah, that was probably the same day.
Same day, yeah, Weedy Wednesday. Like an hour before the show, I was freaking out. I think it was in the middle of your show or something.
It was in the middle of Greg's Wednesday show.
Jeez.
Yeah, from under the seed desk. It was. We were just about wrapping up, and it went KO'd. We couldn't finish the show. One of those things. Live stream. It's free.
All right.
So what can you do?
I gotta go.
All right, Chris. Love you lots. We'll talk soon, brother.
Bye.
There he is. Chris Goodwin. Skyping. So yeah, go watch Vapor Central live shows. They're fun.
They're always fun.
I want to see this Hypnotist put Matt Murnau under. That'd be funny.
It's always fun to watch people be hypnotized.
I've never actually seen that in real life or been hypnotized or anything. Never seen it.
Because there'd be a lot of...
I would love to be hypnotized. I want somebody to hypnotize me. Yeah. Have
Look
you?
into this joint.
Victoria said she had a...
Concentrate.
Oh.
Concentrate.
I think I might be
I'm always
easily susceptible. I don't know.
Watch the joint.
But I have Jedi powers, so would they interfere with the whole thing? Wouldn't, I would end up hypnotizing the hypnotist.
I grind on the dark foot.
That's right. This isn't the joint you're looking for. All right, well.
So, you know what? I got here late.
What time is it? 5:40. Jeez, time flies when you're high as fuck.
You didn't smoke that much, actually. I was sitting over here smoking.
You've been sifting up some crazy yummies.
I've been having fun.
I spread your video around, and you know what your video's at? Did you see what it's at today?
No.
It's like 50,000 views today in less than 24 hours.
Well, you know what? That's really cool that people can learn how to make sift really quickly, and
they like your stuff, John.
It's kind of a no-brainer. The non-solvent, it just works, you guys, and it was just fun. You know what? And that's what I always love doing.
There was one person who didn't like the sound of the thing scraping on the screen.
Sorry.
He said it was like the sound of chalk on or like nails on the chalkboard. But besides, it didn't bother me any. So he was the one critic. Everybody else.
But the cool thing is.
The 50,000
is even with that video, and as I do the separations, and you'll see now, and future ones are going to come, I got different piles and all the different screens. Now we can rosin that, so it's showing you how much you can actually utilize. It's not like there's so much more out of it too. I haven't even.
And that's
only one part of 6 more parts of what I'm getting from after I sift that. You see all the different trichol heads on the 160 screen. And on the
Johnny
110.
B method.
Well, no, it's not my method. The original method was Mark. It's just it's ways that I've found that the different micron size heads help me with different efficacies, help me with different conditions. I get a better sleep with the 25 and 45 than I do with the 120 and the 90.
How come you guys haven't like capitalized on this yet? You need like a George Foreman screen style, like the Johnny B.
You know what? It's screens. Go buy them. They're everywhere. You know, there's all kinds of different screens.
You can put a little twist on it. You know, you put a trough in it. Your face on the edge of the box.
Well, in reality, it's got a set of screens that will come with a type of a
You're just
DVD
giving all the knowledge
where
away.
You can actually have the parchment paper that would come out of it and go around, and you can just rip it off slowly, and you can keep moving with it. I got some great ideas. I've thought of it because I sat there and I've sifted so much. It's unreal. I do it every morning. In 20 minutes, I can make enough sift to last me.
And you won the Canadian Concentrate Open.
Well, that was a joint effort. You know, Remo grew it. I did the cleaning and the sifting, and I guess that's another part of it. But it was actually have a tiny.
How's he doing anyway? Was he okay?
Well, he was going to come into town this week. He said because we always said we're going to do some dinner, and I haven't talked to him the last couple of days, and always feeling sick and stuff like that. Weather change, getting colder out.
Well, Johnny. I didn't have you really on the show in the hotspot today at all. You came in late, and Neil was already sitting in the seat.
Is that him?
No, you don't have to move. No, you're good where you are. I'm just like I was just making fun of Johnny for being late. Yeah.
I've been running around and spreading the word.
You were hanging out downstairs.
I stopped off downstairs to see Todd, and he made a samosa. He said he ate us, and he goes, "You want a samosa?" I was like, "I'll take one."
That's good though.
Then on the go. Came up here. I ate it, so this way I wasn't. What other people say, I get hangry without food. I get hangry. So
I'm sorry for the things I said when I was hungry. What do you have on the table there?
I have this nice, beautiful
quartz banger.
Quartz banger. Mothership. I got the ball rig. We got the beautiful little my new little
mothership
pad that I'm having it on there from Analytical 360 from Mike when they were up here for the Canadian
It's like a mouse pad.
Open. Yeah, well, you know what? It makes no difference what it is. It works great for this. Would you like a bong head?
I'm not making
Would you like one? Because you've been left out today.
Would I like one?
Everybody else got one, but yeah.
Yeah, geez, what are you cutting me out or what?
And I got this beautiful little stuff from Horatio actually.
Oh,
this is some Horatio.
Cool.
Show and that's his form of the clear, I guess. So it's THC. See it, Neil.
Looks like. Oh, Neil, Mr. Magnuson's out on his way. He's driving starting now to Saskatoon.
No, not the next Wednesday.
Can I give you a bunch of stuff to tote with you? Really? I might give you some things. I was joking, but if you really are serious, I will. Do you? Okay.
This is actually, this is the dry sift right here.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming down to the show.
This is the dry sift.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
That's the dry sift. I got a tiny bit left.
Looks like there's not much there.
I know. I mean, savoring it. Saving a little bit for just that end. I don't know why.
Nice.
That's what you do. So what I'll do is I'm going to roll this in here and dip a little bit of that.
Oh, you're going to fuck me up for the end of the show?
I think it's really hot.
Nice.
Thank
you. Did you have one already?
I haven't had one rolled in dry sift, so it doesn't count yet.
That's the way you've been doing them for me. The same. You've been rolling them in, not in dry sift, but in that butter or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, double dabs. I love the wax, but it burns really quickly. So lately I've been using my gooey shatters, and then I roll them in like the waxes and the butters. And it's also good because the rig that we use has a really small nail, so we can only take
that thing
dabs
is way
that are
too small.
Yeah, so you can only take dabs that are so big. But if the wax, since it burns quickly,
dab cam.
we can roll it in the wax, and then we can take dabs that
Double
are twice
dip
as
cam.
big without wasting any shatter.
Yeah.
And you get super fucked up.
Yes. Slap across the face with the THC and CBD and terpenes, other yummies. So, Carly, Marley, people should look in the Cannabis Culture HQ store for all kinds of goodies coming up.
They should also follow us on Instagram, and they should also follow us on Twitter.
Thank you. Instagram canceled our Cannabis Culture account. Our Instagram.com/Cannabis Culture account is now dead. So now it's Instagram.com/Cannabis Culture Magazine. That's the new one.
Yes.
Cannabis Culture Magazine. So go sign up.
Yes.
Get all of our lovely photos.
And
Why
Cannabis
did they do
Culture
it? We don't know
Storytelling.
why they did it. We don't know if it's pot related or what, but they just killed our account and didn't say a damn thing about it. How do you roll this thing down? With that little thingy?
Yep.
Ah. And where's the...
Cute.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see how that works? That's
So
kinda cool.
basically,
Is it
put
too hot?
mothership stays on the ground. There you go.
Mothership stays on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah,
Dun,
yeah,
dun. That's
yeah,
why we
yeah.
have the mouse pad.
There you go. It's a little bit of a lesson.
Okay.
And then you go 30, 40. So we go about 40 seconds.
Don't want to fall off.
And here we go.
All right, here we go.
Hello.
Here we're gonna microphone it. Here, bubbling.
Yum.
Yummy. Oh man. Wow.
See, then the best part about that is what Horatio made is just really high THC, which for me works really good. Like when it's what I say is like one of those things that work for me. And then when I dip it into the sifts, because this doesn't really have too many terpenes in it, it's more just pure THC.
That's the cleanest thing ever, man.
And then dipping it into a little bit of those fresh headies that we did from
Wow.
that Congo, it's just like an amazing flavor, right?
So is that Horatio's the stuff that
the
I'm
oil
smoking?
from here, yeah,
Yeah.
that came from
I can
the
taste
LA
the
show.
orange.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
barely.
I love it though.
But you don't
get me
taste
wrong.
the orange.
I
You're
like the
tasting the
taste.
Congo.
Yeah, well,
Because she already tried
No,
this.
yeah, that stuff on its own literally tastes like
doesn't have the orange
nothing.
anymore.
Exactly.
But I
No,
like the
no,
orange.
no. This doesn't even. Everybody's tried this just on its own. It doesn't taste like anything.
The first thing you say when you take a hit of that is just like, oh.
So
there's
what you're
nothing.
doing since I've
It's
added
really cool.
the sift to it, that is the orangey grapefruity
It's got-
tasting,
yeah.
right? See,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's got
yeah.
that lemony
It's
thing
well,
going on, whatever
the
it is.
Congo was really more of probably those type of terpenes. And hopefully, I'll be able to tell you that shortly.
It's
I got a little
very
bit.
clean though. It feels
Extremely.
like total. There's no edge to it. There's nothing that wants to make you like hack it out.
They're
or
making
anything.
this like all over in Colorado and Washington and stuff called the clear and stuff like that. And then if you can, your access to any of the hashes or any of the lines through that are being accessed now through the U.S. Hopefully here in Canada soon, we'll see what happens. But I mean, this is all just great ways of being able to medicate. I mean, it's what works for me, right?
Delicious.
That's what I always
Thanks,
like to say. It's
man.
what works. And of
The
course,
sun. Look at this. The sun is shining through
the
the
sun is
windows
shining when we came over
right
to
on
sit.
me.
There
Look
you
at that.
go.
Oh, it's so nice. I can see the slats.
wearing orange today, Vancouver. I didn't.
Got my 420 security shirt on. All right, Pot TVers, that's the show for the day.
Joint before we head out because
Spark it up,
once
Johnny.
again we need to medicate while we're
Go
here.
watch Johnny B's video on our Facebook page. It's at 50,000 views about there at the moment. It hasn't even been 24 hours. So go check that out. And
Check it
go
out.
subscribe to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Pot TV Network. And go watch all of our videos at pot.tv, of course. What is it?
Spread the word of
Livestream.com/Pot TV Network.
you pot, cannabis, marijuana, weed, ganja, whatever you want to call it.
Endless ways.
Educate people with it.
Yes. And for the first time I'm announcing it on the show, you can find this show now in audio version in the iTunes store. So if you want to listen to this show as an audio podcast, go to the iTunes store and type in Cannabis Culture and you'll get this video or this feed up. That's our audio feed. And on SoundCloud as well and all over the goddamn place now. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, and soon we'll have all of our Pot TV shows with audio feeds in the iTunes store and all of our Pot TV shows with video feeds in the iTunes store.
Nice.
So I just started with this show audio to start, see how it works. It's working perfectly. Everything's good. Next is the rest. So
Right on.
Also about Instagram, you should follow the Cannabis Culture Store Instagram to know about sales, because I'm going to be posting a lot of sales stuff there.
yeah.
So
And
this is
the
interesting about
Thank you,
Cannabis
Stoner
Culture
Advisory.
magazine is also going to be doing giveaways very soon. With we got a lot of really cool stuff to give away. So follow
Yeah.
that, because
Go sign
you can
up
get
for all
free
our shit.
stuff soon,
Tell your friends. Tell your grandma. Get your grandma's sublimator.
I'm gonna say they're shutting down Instagram accounts. So it's gonna have to get the 420 selfies going pretty soon.
420 Weedmaster over here has contributed already to our account some beautiful bud shots. The ones that are on our Instagram, Cannabis Culture Magazine Instagram right now. This guy right here.
I have to get you some fresh ones with the new LED ceramic metal highlights with those CFM 315 watts, and
I like
You
your
know?
grow room shot. Bless you.
it's bless you, bless you, bless you.
Cast out the demons.
It's interesting because even I'm actually cutting a video right now that has a lot to do with the par meter and the lumens, the difference between par and lumens, and what plants read par in, and then looking at par meter levels in a grow room and seeing the difference, and even the plant's development. It's pretty actually. There's
Cool.
so much more that we're learning now.
I wish I
with
knew
the
anything about
legalizations.
any of that stuff.
Well, you know what? A lot of people out there are, and they're learning, and with all the growing that's going on all around the place, it's just more information. It's awesome.
It's really wicked, Johnny, and we'll keep getting you to do that. If there's some cool stuff we should get you to report on for Cannabis Culture and tell the
I do. I come
masses.
here, talk to you guys all the time, and I
Yay.
support
why we
on
like having
Facebook,
you.
and I spread all the information and stuff that's good for helping different diseases, conditions, different support groups, endocannabinoid system groups, stuff like that. There's so much out there.
That's why
Of
you're my
course-
co-host.
Of course, Cannabis Culture has got like a wide variety of so much information on their websites and stuff like that. So I'm there on there daily because it's a good source of information. That's what we're always here about, is informing, educating.
Thanks, Johnny B. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be back again next Friday at the Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup.
Am I going to be there?
You're going to be there.
I know. I'm
You're
not supposed-
co-hosting my show there from the stage on Friday.
That's why I brought this special Cannabis Culture Prairie Harvest Cup meditainer. Check this out.
What? What the hell are you talking about?
Cannabis Culture.
Oh, dude, are you serious? That is so cool. You know how much I love those things. What? That is a dope one. It's a meditainer, and it has Cannabis Culture, our Cannabis Culture store logo on it, and then on the top it's got the Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup. Boom, special edition.
It's pretty much because I have like all of the custom meditainers. I have the second largest meditainer collection. And of
Can
course
I
I
see
have the
that?
Cannabis Culture green one because it was the dope one, and then I had Jeff wanted solid green for his Prairie Harvest Cup, so I was like, well,
That is
if we're
sick.
hosting, you got to do a Prairie Harvest Cup Cannabis Culture. So there are a few green Cannabis Culture meditainers downstairs. You should go down there and grab those.
Dude.
I'll give you a Harvest Cup one, and then you can have one too.
Bingo. Nice. Those are cool. I like that green
Mix and
color.
match.
Glowing so bright.
Yeah.
Nuclear green. Speaking of nuclear, somebody in the chat, Nick, said, Nuke Harper. Oh, dude.
I was waiting to put that in front of you just to show you.
This is the first time that I've seen this thing.
Oh, I know. I know.
This is the Jumbo Medtainer. This is the Medtainer 747. It's like, this thing's a stomper. Look at compared to the other one. The size is there.
I did
Let's get
I
the
did roughly
Medtainer
about a
cam
half
over here.
pound of grounding up weed
Dun,
on
dun,
screens in
dun.
20 minutes with the new one.
Like,
I
give
ran
you,
into
I
it.
love giving you free props all the time. I love the Medtainer. I'm a free endorser of the Medtainer. I never, besides the Medtainers themselves, I never take any, Johnny's never paid me a dime for this. I fucking love the Medtainer.
Yes, they're so awesome.
It's my favorite grinder because
You
it's
know what?
easy on the
It
hands.
just works.
And it's like, my one criticism, of course, is that it's made of plastic, but the teeth don't rub each other. So there's not a lot of plastic flaking coming off or anything.
no wearable
It's
parts
a
or living
medical
parts.
grade container, airtight, watertight.
It's about making it, like I said, a household
Bad
name.
motherfucker.
It's cannabis. It's what we use. We use it as our medicine.
Yeah.
Medicine on the go the green way. It's what I always said when I it's just
it's a grinder and a stash case. Holds your shit, and it holds the size of a lighter, your rollies, and your weed all in one.
Now it holds a lighter.
Now jumbo packs and shit.
Now it takes a full Bic and a full pack of papers.
It just works. Clam Toes says in the chat. Yes.
Now it does take the full lighter and the
we need an infomercial.
We do.
The Medtainer.
Can I Vanna White for it? I would love to Vanna White for that.
You could be like the crazy juice guy, and we can do your hair with the white and the crazy buzzard eyebrows. You'd be like, Jim Carrey in Living Color.
So they're available on your website, of course. Not the
available
XLs yet.
Are the jumbo ones? Not yet.
There's just the XLs. They're coming.
These need to be in our store right away. Jumbo Medtainers. We're gonna dominate the market. Get your jumbo Medtainers on the Cannabis Culture store this weekend.
Very soon.
This weekend.
They're not available. They will be. They're
not available.
They're coming. There's releases on them and how we're actually marketing it and
bringing them. What about this
bringing
one?
them to market.
Is this mine? This is mine now, isn't it?
It's ours.
What the hell is that?
No, I love that. She goes, no, actually, it's ours, dear.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh wow. The magic. I like that.
I like that.
It's gone.
There you go.
But anyways.
Yes, all right. Medtainers.
It was really good
you can get the Medtainers. There are other ones, though, at Cannabis Culture, our store. We have Medtainers in there.
Of course you do.
But not the blanks yet.
We will.
God damn it, I want the blanks in there.
I can just throw you a case right now and
Get to
drop it
work,
off.
damn it.
We'll
Just joking.
Get it on there so you'll actually have it by the end of the day today.
Good.
There you go.
Vanna Green.
But there was some stuff I want to talk about news and what was going on in the last week, and I actually came in late and I forgot, and that was too bad. It was
what did you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about something. I forgot what it was. But
we better turn it off right away.
Was it marijuana?
It was really cool for me is when I was driving down Clearbrook yesterday, and I ran into not one but two weed stores, gyms, weeds, and then up the street was another one called 420 or something like that, and went in there and blatantly in the last, I mean, I've lived out in the valley for a long time, and then in a period of a month and a half, there's like 4 stores, 5 going into the Fraser Valley out in Abbotsford, and they're not doing too much about it.
Overrun by pot stores.
Yeah, that's great. They're opening up in your community, coming to your community, or you know what? I don't know.
Good.
Like what we started with, we started writing letters to the city, and yeah, it's about time.
It's about time.
Just do it.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. It's 6 p.m. here in the beautiful city of Vancouver, and I guess we've done another episode. You guys can watch all of these shows at Pot TV and tune in for live broadcasts right here from this lounge 3 times a week. We got Mondays at 4 p.m. with the 420 Lifestyle Show with this girl right here, Carly Marley and Opus, 420. We have the Wednesday show with Marijuana Man. That's from Under the Seed Desk and his friends, Al the Alchemist and Ms. Kush Queen and me and Rose.
The Queen.
Don't forget Rose. See, we never give Rose credit. Rose needs like a jazzy name. I would just call her Rose. I guess Rose is enough.
Just Rose.
Just Rose.
Rose.
And as well, you can watch.
A rose by any.
Why would you call it by any other name? Yeah, it is a beautiful name.
Just don't think of the line right
It's a beautiful
now.
name, so.
She's gonna name. Give Jared a new name.
What's that?
Someone come up with a new name for you.
No, Rose is good.
No, for you.
Oh, for me. Yeah.
Jeremiah, I pronounce the J silently sometimes.
My name in high school was Budway because I sold weed.
Subway.
And I had a hat that at one time was like one of those stoner hats that said Budway, and so people just knew me as like the guy who sold weed. They really actually called me that at one point. Abbotsford is near Mordor, says Clam Toast. Yeah, I think so. The way the police act there. Yeah, the way the police act there.
It's run by the Bible Belt of the world, which is nothing wrong with that.
Don't forget to watch Redbeard tomorrow, Saturday, 4 p.m. Every Saturday, Redbeard holds it down with the torch.
Yes. You can buy
carving up the glass.
On Cannabis Culture.
You can buy
he's got to do a show on how to fix your glass at home because I got a few broken pieces.
How to fix your glass. That's a good idea. How to fix it. Yeah.
I'll have to get a hold of him.
1,000 pieces after you shatter.
Is there? You know what? If they came up with some kind of glass glue that if you just broke a little piece of your bong, you could put a little bit of glue on it and it would actually glue the glass together, and then you could just like bake it in the microwave, put it in the microwave, and it would like. Zzz. That would be like that would make you millions. Just let you know.
Put it in the
Figure
microwave.
that shit out. Let us know.
That. That's good. You got to invent that.
Yeah, someone's got to do that. I'm just throwing it out there.
You just gave the
It's
idea
kinda
away to everybody watching now.
You got 3D laser printers. I mean, come on, guys, come up with some way of fixing your broken glass. You know that one when you just knock something over and it's like, psh, you're like, oh really? It's just gotta like break right there.
You
and it deems the bong useless.
Just support.
And
your
then you
local
look at it, and it's
glass
really
blower.
not that bad. So
That's
I'm just
right.
like,
Carly's got the idea.
anyways, as you can hear, I have a few broken bongs, and I'm a little and a broken pipe
Thanks for
and
the
a
nice
broken
tote.
cup.
And thanks for the jumbo medtainer.
Yes.
It's not yours yet. And I said yet.
That's the only
but
prototype.
It's not yours
This
yet,
thing's
but
like
you will get it.
treasure to behold. I love that thing. You need like a really big one, like the big space case that you don't want to get your arm caught in it.
Wait a second here.
And it'll be like churning butter.
That we don't have the double or triple XL. We have the regular.
It's got a motor.
XL. And who's not to say that the next one is even bigger?
Where's the Star Wars containers that I invented?
What?
Johnny is doing this for somebody or something, aren't you?
Yeah.
A long time ago I had the idea to put Darth Vader's face on a medtainer or a stormtrooper because they look like, when you put a black one or a white one together or whatever, they look like stormtroopers or Darth Vader.
We have
their
the
faces
new
on
ones
them.
coming out that say our state trooping. State trooping.
State trooping.
State trooping. Grind on the dark side.
Grind on the, but you might get Disney on your ass.
Yeah, no, because you know what? This is
parody.
It's a Disney thing, and
Satire.
and there's
Satirization.
and there's
Legal.
nothing to do with it at all. Because if you take a look at it, they're pretty cool. It's just like state trooping.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with anything, and they're pretty cool looking. And like you said, they blatantly look like it. So it's like your imagination can run wild with it.
Yep. Oh, there's a black XL one.
There's a black XL one? Oh, shit. What the heck?
See, okay, I had a white one too, and D420K
Bonk.
came by my house yesterday, and
Let's see
as
it.
you can see, I don't have the white one anymore.
That's a jumbo. It's a stomper. I'm jealous now. I want to grind up like. See, that's the one thing about it. You can't grind up too much at once. It's a little
I know,
small,
like I
small
said,
side.
I did a
Jumbo medtainer.
But I love it because it's good for like
Saved
sessions
my
on
life.
the go. I will grind up my weed, and then when I'm smoking, as I'm like going somewhere, I'll have my pipe, and it's like easy to sneaky put some weed in and not waste any.
Totally.
Well,
that's
see
the
what
same exact,
happens now.
Nailed
See,
it.
this is how it
Same
happens
exact
now.
reason. You can
You now
literally
have two. This one
I hate
here
to say it,
holds
but
your
you can
lighter.
roll while you're driving. You're dump it right into your thing.
Hi.
Yeah, we're still. Oh,
Where are you
Jody's giving
going?
me the Gary Wintle party leaving.
Gary's party.
Okay, awesome.
Yay.
Thanks, Jody, for that message. Hey, look, you're on cam
Thanks,
now.
Jody.
Now she's on cam over there, and we got some headless peoples too.
Headless people.
Sorry, guys. We'll cut your heads off. All right, now we're
That's
really
it.
out of here. Pod TV. Love you lots.
As always,
We'll
peace
see
and
you
puff
again
and pass.
soon. Next Friday from the Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup in Saskatoon. Go to saskprairiecup.ca. saskprairiecup.ca, baby. See you there.
Peace, Pot TV.